but I know it's called your first 3 hires, but I want to share a bigger picture with you. And in some cases, some people were like, what the hell is that? It's too big, or I'm never going to do that. That's okay. This is just so you can see where we're at and where we've grown to just on the virtual side of this. That's not even our in-house staff, right? And this is just so you can understand where we're heading and why I'm talking about this. This is kind of like our little chart for our virtual staff, and it surrounds the director of operations, right? So we've got the video editor, lead coordinator, director of tech, marketing manager, concierge. Now this session is going to revolve around these 3 right here, right? Video editor, marketing manager, and then the ISA, which is a lead coordinator, and the director of operations. As you click on these, and I'll send you over to the link, as you click on these, you can see them, you can expand on them. And in the chat right here, let me just do you all a favor and throw this in the chat. At least we can start off with something good. So as you can see, you can also interact with it, click it. That's the idea of where you want to go. If you don't want to build it out that big, that's okay. At least you get an idea of what's next. And that's what I want to talk about, because a lot of people need clarity, and a lot of people need the pathway to really get to this next level, and that's leveraging talented people. All right, everybody, let's start with the very first one. The world is changing, the world as we know it. And if you Google, do me a favor, I love doing this because it always changes month to month. And it's not as big of a change as you think, but Google the most visited websites. I'm just going to do it with you right now. Most visited websites in the world. We're going to do this live because it has to do with what I'm talking about. I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to share Google most visited websites in the world. Follow along with me just for a few seconds here. This 2021, let's see if we can find one that's a little bit more recent. September. Ooh, I like this one. All right, so top website rankings. That's about a month and a half ago. Now let's go right into it. Let's go into the top 5. Take a look here. Google, let's see how many it had. Oh, they won't show you, but it's about 94 billion. Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Who knew Twitter was number 4, right? And Facebook sometimes alternates here, and Instagram sometimes falls off and goes with Baidu. But look, check that out. Take a snapshot of that, because that's important to you. Now, the second part to this is I want to ask you where most of your business is coming from, because those are the 2 things that are going to determine who you're going to hire next. In the world that we live in, you can't debate that you need a social media person. You might even need a video editor, right? Because Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, this is where our clients are. It doesn't matter what business you're in. This is where they are. And you need to meet them where they are, right? You've heard of that. Meet your clients where they are. Meet the consumer where they are, right? And the second part to this is, where does your business come from? Do me a favor, text here in the chat, where is most of your business coming from? I'm going to pick one. We're going to go deep into it. I have a feeling I know what the main answer is going to be. I knew it. Referrals, SOI, past clients, sphere, referrals. Perfect. Let's go deeper on this one. Good. Zillow. I love Zillow. Zillow's great. Just look, use them. They use us. Use them. We're going to talk a little bit about Zillow in a little bit. Sphere, HomeLight. All right. Most of the answers were referrals. That was the majority of the answers. We have Facebook a little bit here, cold calling, calling leads. But let's think about a little bit more on referrals. Think of your sphere. Think of your past clients. Think of those that are close to you. Now you think of your strengths. Those are your strengths. That's where you're getting most of your business from. But where are most people going to? Well, most people are going to social media. 70% of all Americans are on Facebook. Still, Facebook, 70%. That means that typically 70% of your database is going to show up there, right? So why don't you have a plan for it? I think there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect, and we don't acknowledge that social media is an extension of our database. And that's what I need you to understand. I don't want you to wake up and be like, oh, let's go on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, and then just scroll through, and, oh, this is cool. Oh, that's good, right? Don't let social media use you. I want you to have a plan, a business plan, so that you start using social media for your business and you're less reactive and opinionated, right? And more purposeful when it comes to using this for your business. Now, when you see both things, the most visited websites in the world, you know what? While I'm at it, I'm just going to drop that link there so you have it. Here is the link to most visited websites in the world as of September, right? And it doesn't usually vary that much. It's always going to be Google for the next few months, always going to be YouTube number 2, Facebook sometimes number 3, Twitter's usually number 4, and Instagram does vary, but that's number 5. And you bring your strengths and you say, well, now how can I use this strength that I have where I get most of my business from and attach it to social? And that's where you need help, right? My first hire in the world that we're in right now is going to be a combination of a social media manager and a video editor. And the very first thing, sort by US only, and Amazon is up there. Yep, that's very true. Thoughts on TikTok? Zoe, TikTok is amazing. Jump on it. It'll teach you to start doing short video content, where that's where social media is heading. Now, let's think about the world that we live in today. How can we use this content that's out there and our ideas and implement it into our business, right? Because let's say you do hire a social media person from Virtudesk, right? You give them a call. They have that great discount. Barry, can you throw that in there as well right now, the discount? When you hire somebody from there, the challenging thing is you don't know what they need to do for you. So I'm just going to give you this right now. Actually, let me just crop it. You're going to love this one. You probably know what it is already because I give this out every month. And I want to make your life easier, right? People are like, Tristan, why do you give so much? I'm like, dude, I got into a habit of it at an early age. This is what I want your social media person to focus on. Now it's content that comes from you. Content that they can create and nudge you on and keep you accountable. I'm going to throw this link into the chat right now, but I need you to tell me that you can open it. Again, here we go. Let me know if you can open it. Yes, yes, yes. If you can't open it, then you may need a different browser. Perfect. Perfect. Let's go deep into this. You just hired a social media manager. Go along with me on this one. All right. You just hired one. This is the one I like, by the way. I like this version. The bottom version is this same thing. It's just a calendar, right? Just a calendar. Some people like this one. And guess who made this for me? Well, I wrote it out, but guess who designed it? Put it up. My social media manager. Yeah. The one I hired, that's a virtual assistant. They have an amazing eye for design, but let's go through this. You alternate through this acronym called STAY, S-T-A-Y. And your social media manager is going to be like, okay, great, let's go. I'm going to prompt you. Let's just pick who's on here. Danny, I'm going to pick on you, Danny, because you're the last one who answered yes. All right. Danny, I love November because of, why do you love November? Why do you love this month? Right. Let's say, Danny, you're going to do a video on this. Great. Your social media manager is going to be like, hey, Danny, I got this great script. This is why you love November. Thanksgiving. You love giving thanks to your family, your friends, for their business, just for being there. Great, do this. Or it could be a simple graphic. And you know what the social media manager does? They create the graphic for you. You just have to let them know, hey, social media manager, I feel inspired by this Instagram account. I feel inspired by this Facebook account. Can you do me a favor and show me what you got by creating graphics that are similar to this? That's what you have to do. What's up, Jose from Boston? What's up, Eleanor? I need you to start identifying what those duties are for social media manager. And Auberry, I know you can hear me in the background, maybe Monch too. Can you let Pavel in or send him a link so that he can jump in on this? Because he's my co-host on this, and he's the CEO of Virtudesk. So let's make that happen, guys. Here, now we go to sell. Let me take you through just the first 4 so you understand STAY, right? And I'll post up the link to that whole social media outline, and I'll post up the link again to the virtual staff, right? But the very first hire you're looking for right here in the world that we're in is the social media manager. Number 2, sell. This is where we can showcase what we do for a living. I don't want you to do this all the time. I want you to pepper it in, right? Pepper it in so you allow people to connect with you. So if you're running with a social media manager, like, hey, you know what? Let's put up a great listing that we sold. Let's put up that review that we got, or this story that I have with a buyer or with a seller, or this story over here that was amazing. Let's sell right here. Now you go to teach. This is an opportunity. You go to, I'm going to stop sharing really quick. You go to my TikTok and you can see a lot of the videos on there. I'm just going to see if I can pop this open. First of all, Virtudesk has got a great TikTok account that they've had their virtual assistants grow to about 20,000, which is great. Here it is. Perfect. I'm going to share my TikTok so you can see what I'm talking about. All right. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and a lot of the videos that you see here, those are edited by my virtual staff, right? Some of them where I'm in Malibu, that's just me, but other ones like this and like this, the ones with the red, are edited by my staff. All I do is I shoot, I sit behind myself. I've got this video camera and I sit there and I shoot. And then I send it to them and they edit. And some of these have gone viral that they've edited. They've done an amazing job, right? There's a few that I got 1 million. There's one that I recently got that's 285,000. I'm gonna just show you, you're teaching, right? This is part of this cycle on the teaching. I'm gonna click on this. It may be a little loud, so I may have to mute it really quick.
Want to hear the number one mistake that most buyers make after they buy the home? Here it is. It's pretty easy. They don't put the home in a trust. They don't take the time to make a will, make a trust, and be like, hey.
All right. That's the video that was edited by my team. They put in those GIFs. They put in the in-between little videos. Now take a look at the analytics on this because I'm teaching, right? All I said, this video took me about 1.5 minutes to make, and I sent it to the team at 285,000 views, 22,000 likes, 5,400 shares, and we closed 1 transaction from this, right? It's about being able to connect with people through teaching, but we forget that we have so much knowledge, right? And millennials out there on TikTok and those that are watching Reels on Instagram, they need to know what we do for a living because they don't have the knowledge we have. This is your time to be able to show them, hey, this is how it works over here. This is what you need to be doing. And that's an opportunity for you. You can also let your social media manager, hey, go on Google, find these things here on NAR on this site or Keeping Current Matters, and let's modify it. Put my branding behind it, right? The thing is, we never give them the ability to shine, those people that are working for us, because we try to micromanage them. You ever notice that? Right? We try to tell them what to do instead of saying, hey, these are the duties and tasks. Now create something amazing with it. I'm going to share with you again the calendar to end it with the last one here through the cycle. And that's the advice. Share a tip, choose a life hack, a routine, something that you're great at. And, you know, for me, it's pretty easy. Look at my background, right? This is what I love, right? I love Star Wars, Marvel Comics. I love hats, Virtudesk hat. I love tech too. And I showcase that. And I allow people to connect with me through that. And then I pepper in everything else. But some of those videos that I've done where I'm just showcasing like my Stormtrooper helmet or a piece of technology or whatever, those are the ones that have gotten me the most views. And I like mixing it up. So use this calendar, use that calendar for your social media manager that you hire. Next, I would probably combine, like I showed you, a video editor. So when you're hiring a social media manager here through Virtudesk, I want you to see if maybe, if you're shooting video, this social media person may need to also edit some video. So they may need to have some editing skills, right? And short video is where it's at right now. I mean, look at YouTube Shorts. Instagram has Reels. Facebook, let's just go and dive into Facebook and see if I can show you some great ones here on the Facebook Reels just came out. So let me see if I can pop it up onto my screen just to show you how Reels is doing, because I think it's doing a great job. Just in a few weeks it's been out. And let me see, because some of my Reels have done a great job just by me reposting some of those Reels from Instagram or some of those Reels from TikTok. You can even still see the logo on it. Let me see if I can see it on my main. No, it doesn't show on my desktop. I'll show it a little later on my main phone. So I'm going to have to share that with you there. Now, the idea behind all of this, let me just show you I'm going to share my calendar again with you because I know some of you didn't get it. Let me grab this right now and share this with you. If you have any questions, pop them in. Happy to answer the ones that I get to. There is the calendar. Oh, thanks. Somebody beat me to it. And the organizational chart is right coming up as well. Now, let's talk about the second person that I need you to probably start looking at, because this person is going to help you with your strengths, right? If you are getting referrals, a lot of referrals, and it's from past clients, it's from your sphere, it's from other people, other agents. Like we get a lot of referrals from other agents across the United States. Well, make sure that you're looking to hire an executive admin. There's a difference, right? You have an admin who may have some skills, but an executive admin is someone who has a history, who has the experience that you need in helping other businesses grow. And if you look at does the VA change it up every month, or do you use the same calendar? Great question, Takia. And I don't know if I pronounced your name right, so I'm sorry. But I have a calendar that I provide every month and it changes. And my VA team is the one that designs the graphics. Let me show you on my screen, because I'm going to show you what my executive admin eventually became. And that's the director of operations. This executive admin that I first hired way back got so good and so great at understanding my business that they started taking other roles on and they started understanding. So they became the director of operations. Can they do a little bit of video editing? Yeah. Do they have great communication? Yes. And they can call up my clients. Can they also do a little bit of ISA work? Yep, they can. Do they understand technology? In this case, mine does extremely well. And can they do marketing? Can they be a marketing manager? Check out what that involves over here. Yeah, they can do all of that. This is why they're the director of ops. Do you understand now? This executive admin person can grow with you. This is the biggest difference. We don't understand that. Doesn't matter how small you want to remain in regards to a staff or how big you want to go. They can definitely grow with you. But just remember, just as you're growing and you're understanding things, you've got to give this person the ability for growth. They're not going to know where they're going if they don't get a vision from you, if they don't get the tasks and duties from you, if you're not providing them with information as to how to grow. Pavel, the CEO of Virtudesk, what's up, bro?
Finally, bro, I finally was able to actually join, dude. So
you're not the only one. I had like 5 people tell me, you know what? Zoom events. What is this? So
I don't know, bro, but it's just messed up, man. I've been trying to.
Don't worry about it, buddy.
Yeah.
I got you. Everybody, meet Pavel. He's the CEO of Virtudesk. He's the hat I'm wearing right here, the shirt he's wearing. We created this amazing company. We can hire ISAs, VAs from them. We'll get into ISAs.
Anybody you want, bro.
All right. You came in at the perfect time, Pavel, because I just finished talking about social media / video editor. That should be your hire because of the world that we live in, right?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Number two, I put should be an executive admin, somebody who can grow with you. And the reason I chose executive is because they understand more of the business, right? They can grow with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Number three is an ISA. I think, and this is why I love that you came in at this spot, because you grew your company before you even opened Virtudesk with ISAs.
That's correct. Yeah. Well, I was running a brokerage, and I kind of like started dabbing into the virtual assistants myself by bringing in people who would be able to help me run my brokerage. So that kind of allowed me to to grow. So here we are.
Pavel, here's the one thing that I love that you did that, because I'm going to take it super big, and then I'm going to bring it small, just so people understand ISAs, right? Inside sales agent people. That's your sales floor. Those are the people that are reaching out to people to either convert them or bring them in. Here is the key. I've been a real estate agent since 2004. Now, I also had the opportunity to train the sales floor for Realtor.com. That's a massive company. And the one thing when I was doing that, I realized that was the heart of the company. That was the reason they were succeeding at such a high level. And that sales floor is spread all around the world. And so I understood at that point, I'm like, wow, you want to really grow a company? You want to really sell tickets? You want to convert online leads? You want to follow up with your past clients? You want somebody to take care of your database? You're going to need a sales team. And in this,
you got to have a good sales team. That's right. And the technology allows us to have salespeople all over the world nowadays. Your sales floor can really be the globe.
That's the key. And I'm going to share something that your team created, Pavel.
Sure.
Because I was going to recreate it, but you guys did a good job, so I didn't. Okay, so here it is. Now, Pavel's team can send this to you when you request information or when you go into our group. Here's what I'm going to show you, because it's a pretty detailed one. And I know Barry is going to talk about this next, Barry Jenkins, because he's got a great ISA model. Here we go.
Sure.
Tell me if you can see this, Pavel.
Oh, yeah, we can see that.
All right, perfect. Now, I don't have the link to this. You're going to have to request it from Virtudesk. But here is a virtual assistant ISA. Right here are the general tasks that we see them used for: outbound calling, appointment setting, lead generation and nurturing. Now, do you see how we start outlining these things?
Oh, yeah.
This is important, because if we don't outline the duties, sometimes the VAs or your in-house staff, they fail because they don't know what's next. They don't know what the duties and tasks are. It's our responsibility to help them, because we all function a little bit differently. Here, client relationship management is my favorite. Most of you said, when I asked you, referrals is the #1 source of income. Well, how good are you at following up with your database? How good are you setting up all of your past clients, your sphere, making sure that you have complete information and making sure that you're sending them a gift here or there, or at least something in the mail and saying thank you, right? This right here, client relationship manager and database management. Pavel, I think that's the one place that we can place an executive admin or an ISA.
Yeah, that's where I would actually start. I would start with getting somebody who can actually reach out to your database, who can, just basically touch base with them, check on them. And because this is people who already know you, people who already love you. I mean, or hate, and, it's not going to be like a cold calling, because when I used to sell real estate, I did a lot of cold calling, and my ISA did a lot of cold calling. Yeah, she was getting me a lot of appointments and FSBOs expireds. But again, those people, you got to go through a lot of numbers to actually get a decent amount of leads or appointments. However, with your database, these people who already know you, either you dealt with them in the past or your paths kind of crossed sometime in the past, but people already know who you are. So it's not going to be like exactly a cold call. For example, and actually it also helps like in some states. For example, right now, I know in the state of New York, you cannot do cold calls. It started like, when the pandemic started, so you couldn't do cold calls. And we have clients who hire ISAs specifically to reach out to the database because, again, you cannot do cold calls. But if you do some sort of a marketing, those people become your database because there's the leads who reach out is your leads, basically, and your ISA reaches out to them. So it's not a cold call per se. So something to keep in mind. And again, your database, your phone is your gold mine, basically, because you have no idea how many contacts you would have in your phone, and those contacts would obviously need to be reached out. So
you know what, Pavel, that's key. And on the phone, and here we'll end it with this, and then we'll go to Barry, and then Pavel, you're coming with me, so I don't want to lose you on this one. I want to remind people that once you hire a virtual assistant, one of the first things we do is we tell them, hey, we're going to go to MC Backup Pro. I'm just going to take you with me here online, okay? MC Backup Pro, and I'm going to showcase my screen really quick so I can show you this. I'm going to MC Backup Pro, and I'm going to attach this to my phone, download it. It's $3.99, and I'm going to download all of the people on my phone, and it's going to be into a CSV file. Then I'm going to send it over to my person that I just hired here through Virtudesk, and I'm going to have them see if they can complete as much of the information as possible. Either maybe they're in my follow-up boss already with partial data, right? Or maybe they're not, or maybe they can go online on Spokio and get the full information. Right. But the idea behind it is then you start categorizing them. You have to go through them and say, okay, well, how good are these people? Have they sent me referrals in the past? Have they bought a home? Are they a past client? So you need to start working your business more like a business, but start with your strengths. And that's where I would look at and say, how can Virtudesk help me leverage my strengths? Right? Is it going to be social media? Is it going to be with my past clients, my sphere, my generalized database, right, with an ISA? Or do I need help with paperwork because I'm amazing at generating business? I'm maybe a solo agent or a partner agent or just starting a team, but I need a lot of help. That's where you bring in an executive admin, right? Yeah. Those are the three hires. Those are the three hires.
I was about actually to share this screen. I have a nice presentation to show about first three hires that you got to do. So
do it, man. Do it. Barry,
want me to do that?
Once we're done here, we'll shift over to Barry. Barry's already getting started with the
let me see if I'm able to do that very quick. Yes. Okay. I'm going to share the screen now. So you should be able to.
I got you, buddy.
Everybody can see it?
Yep.
All right. So the first three hires a business owner should make. It doesn't matter whether you're a real estate agent or if you're a small business owner. So let me just go over there very quick. And the first three VAs that you should hire when you start in, and as Tristan said, the executive admin is somebody who would be act as a director of operations for you, like on day-to-day stuff. I know we're going to be talking about the director of ops, and Tristan's going to have his director of ops on this call, so you'll see that. Also, somebody who will set the tone of the business as you focus on your 20%. Compared to, everything 80% has to be done by somebody else. So executive admin, and this is the responsibilities. And guys, if you request, the slides, we'll be more than happy to send them to you. There is a way to request it. Just send email to sarah@myvirtudesk.com. She'll be more than happy to send them to you. Okay, so what are the roles, responsibilities of exec admin? So as we just pointed out, it can be handled incoming, outgoing VoIP and email correspondence, build your SOP or operations manual, interpret calls into team schedules. So basically, run your calendar for you. Team appointment coordinator, internal communications management, provide support to other team members. So basically the go-to person to run your business. The marketing VA is somebody who will manage the marketing and promotion of your business. So schedule, they'll be in charge of tasks such as managing your social media accounts, content creation, public relationship, lead generation. They can build your social media. They can basically, we have people who are doing video editing, creating TikTok. So all of that, okay? And this is just, I'm pretty much, laid out the responsibilities of a marketing VA. So I'll try to go through this very quickly so Barry can jump in and, fill this in on more. The inside sales agent, as Tristan talked about, the ISA, the person who's going to be doing your sales calls, who's going to be reaching out to your database, who's going to be reaching out to your leads, scheduling appointments for you, and basically make sure that you are having enough, leads to convert them into sales and to create revenue. And this is a must right now. This is the hottest position as we speak. We actually attended Tom Ferry event last month. I'm sorry, this was actually this month. Wow.
Yeah, dude. Last week, kind of.
Yeah, dude, seriously. Wow, this time goes, And video editor is the highly demanded position right now.
Yeah.
So people hire a video editor to create the content. Because all of the content right now on your social, it has to be video. If you're not doing video, you're not going to be relevant. So that's it.
Sure.
So you got to have it. Other things people consider data entry, virtual staff. You can hire somebody to do data entry. As Tristan said, use the app to transfer all your contacts into the spreadsheet so your ISA can call them out. So create the calling sheets and everything. So again, guys, this is just it, but you'll see way more if you join Leverage Community. We have a Leverage group on Facebook, and here's a QR code. Once you actually go to this QR code by pointing your camera at it, it'll take you to our Leverage Community. Please go ahead and join. And there's way more that we can actually share there that I can just share on this very quick, introduction of what Virtudesk is. So here's Virtudesk. So also go to myvirtudesk.com or call the 800 number to schedule a call with our team to discuss what we can help you with. So
I love it.
You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere. So I'll stop the share and let the Tristan take over the thing.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
Of course.
Pavel, Sarah, what's her email address?
It's Sarah at myvirtudesk.com.
myvirtudesk.com. All right, everybody, I just put it in there. Now I'm going to answer some questions before we jump over to Barry's, all right?
Sure.
Number one question, Jose, how many hours would you hire these VAs for? Look, Jose, it depends on your business. I remember the very first one I hired 11 years ago or 12 was part-time. And I realized quickly that I was sharing that one person with somebody. So I was like, that's not going to work because I want to scale them. So I just went full-time immediately after. So it depends on where you're at. The next question, Sarah, kind of like a comment. I would love to have an ISA, but in New Jersey, very strict about an unlicensed person can talk about. Sarah, that's where I would bring in probably an executive admin, someone that can help with the back end, or even a social media manager / video editor, right?
And also, let me add that you don't have to hire an ISA, a VA only as an ISA position to make, cold calls. Again, that's one of those things. I also know some people in states where the cold calling is not allowed by unlicensed people. What they do, what they told me they do, they structure the script as a survey. So it sounds like a survey taking instead of making a call for an appointment. So, but again, this is some people just find, to go around about it. But again, keep in mind that VA, a virtual assistant, doesn't necessarily mean the person is going to be making phone calls. It doesn't necessarily mean an ISA. There are way more positions than you can actually put them into.
Barry, we'll go for about 15, 20 minutes on this, but the idea behind this session was I wanted you to take people through creating an ISA department, right? Whether it's just starting off with one or two, however you want to do it, because you and I have been able to talk to Robert Slack and other agents like that have like a 200 person ISA team or 300 person ISA team, right? And that's nuts, but it's awesome at the same time.
Yeah.
And you and I have only got like, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 5, right?
Mhm.
And so where do we start? Because obviously this is brought to you by Virtudesk, right? And I know some people say, well, let's try virtual assistants. Other people are like, no, let's do in-house, right? I don't think there is a right or wrong answer. I think it really depends on what you want to do and how good your training is. Look at Robert Slack, all virtual assistants, over 250 of them, right?
Right.
And then you have Kyle Whissel's team, which all of them are in-house, right? And there's he's got like 5 or 6 of them. So like I said, no wrong way. So where do we start, Barry? Do you start with outlining expectations first, or how does this go?
Yeah, I think the reason why the ISA hire doesn't work well for a lot of people, and actually all virtual assistants, is we're hiring them to solve a problem. And so then we hire them and we give them a problem, and then we're disappointed. Because let's be honest, they are never going to be as good as you. They're just not. Okay. So first thing, you got to let go to grow. What it's taken to get you where you're at in your business, your obsessive nature, worrying about all the details. Okay, you're going to hit a ceiling. And so what's gotten you to the point in your business that you're at right now, it's not what it's going to take to get you to the next place in your business. Now, I'm not advocating that you don't care anymore, but what I decided I would do is, instead of complaining, is if the person was willing to work hard, they seem to reasonably adapt to training that I was providing them, and I could set expectations and they could try to reach them. I just use more of a task-based management flow, and so I come up with a few things that I either don't want to mess with or I think need to be done every day, and I say, okay, here's your thing today. Do that thing for me, and then I move along and find something else to work on. And that sounds overly simplistic, but when you magnify that times, 20 things per person, 10 people that you've hired, now you start to scale. And Tristan, I'm sure you get this a lot, but I have a lot of people that I talk to that ask me, how do you do it all? And I told somebody today, I was like, I don't really work that hard. Like, I'm not lazy, but I just spin stuff up, set it up, and they go.
I think that's the key, but you also, like you said, you spun it up. You outlined what it would look like. You figured it out, and then you hired the right person or created the right automation through tech to be able to handle that routinely, right?
Right.
So I want to show you something, and I want you to take me through and tell me what you use your ISAs for, okay? And I brought this up at the end of the last session, so we didn't get to do a lot of this, but this is obviously by Virtudesk. This is the outline of what they kind of have, what you could use an ISA for. And I want to know what you use yours for. So we have outbound calling, right? Appointment setting. Sometimes it's both. Lead generation and nurturing. This is probably the database, right? Client relationship management. So those people that are already past clients or Sphere, right? Which kind of goes into database management. And now customer service. I see this more like a concierge type of person, right? And then somebody who's kind of in charge of the back end, some of the tech, kind of lead processing, kind of like a lead coordinator. And that sales support, lead tracking and reporting. I would assume somebody like that is using Sisu and Octum, making sure that it's working well. Right. And then somebody who's in charge of always updating the script library. This is more along the lines of all these departments, is more like a massive ISA system, kind of like Robert's, right? Yeah. But where do you fall into this? Like, how do your people function?
Yeah, I would say 90% of my virtual assistants are appointment setting. And so they are trying to find humans that want to buy or sell a home and or are willing to talk to one of my agents. And then we round robin the appointments. The other 10% is not a monthly thing, but what got me down this road of an ISA department was I hired an ISA and I had her go through, we had like 600 leads that my agents had marked cold and never touched again. I had her go into our dialer and one at a time call each lead. And I created an online form like Google Forms or Jot Forms. And I had very specific questions that I didn't trust her yet. So I said, I want you to ask, how's your agent doing? Have you found a home yet? Would you like some listings sent? Any notes you'd like to pass along to your agent? Well, out of the 600, we had at least 80 that said they already bought, at least. And I was like, okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yes. And so it was a worthwhile endeavor, but it also showed me that. So that's like the client management, because the script was, I'm a client care coordinator. Wanted to chat with you about your agent. How's your agent doing? Because they don't want to look dumb. I don't want my agent to look dumb. So this allowed us to have that customer service vibe without messing things up. And so now my agent's day is spent, or excuse me, my ISA's day is spent setting appointments.
All right. Now with those appointments, do they ask specific questions? And are these agents, are these virtual assistants or are these in-house ISAs? What do you focus on?
Yeah, so I've had several in-house ISAs that were licensed. And how do I say this? I have just found that I'm able to get way more out of people that are overseas. Not only is it more affordable, and which makes it easier to scale, but they are just sitting. The value of having a human sit at a computer and try to talk to people for you is immense. Like, and then, you know, knowing that their behavior and what they're doing is all being tracked. I assume Virtudesk has some kind of tracking mechanism. That also is very valuable because you're really getting those 8 hours that you're paying for. So yeah, right now we're all virtual, 100% virtual, but I'm not against the other, but.
No, I'm not against either. I agree with you. And here's my question to you though, because it came up a couple of times in the chat. First of all, everybody, I will give you that sheet or that PDF. I'm going to dump it in here, and Virtudesk created that for us. So I have to give them props for that. Barry, what are the questions that you have your ISAs ask so they stay within the guidelines of they don't have a real estate license, so they can't dig into real estate? How do you go around that?
Yeah, so it depends. If the lead is 21 days or younger, so this is what we would define as like a new lead for the ISA team, is about in the first month. The script is different than if the lead is over 30 days. So if the lead is over 30 days old, it's a very easy script, which is why it works so well. Tristan, this is Barry. I'm a client care coordinator over at Better Homes and Gardens.
Okay.
We're cleaning up our database and got to your name. We want to remove it. But we noticed that the notes don't show if you ever bought or sold a home. So we figured before we remove you, we would ask, are you still looking? Well, the magic here is my ISA happens to be calling a human that happens to be actively looking on my website. That's how it got on our radar. And because it's an administratively oriented call, the people very quickly say whether they are still looking or not. And if they're still looking, we're surprised. The eyes, really? Wow, okay, you've been looking a while. So tell me more about what you're looking for. And they go right into it. And then they get the information and then they pass it on to the agent. They set an appointment. If it's a newer lead, it's still an administratively oriented focus. So we start off the call. Hey, Tristan, this is Barry, Better Homes and Gardens. Looks like you've been looking at some homes on Google, and we just relaunched our website. Want to make sure the photos loaded for you and see if you had any questions about the homes. So very nondescript, very customer service oriented. And then we transition to if they want to talk to an agent or not.
All right, I like that. So let's say the VA does feel like this person is good and that they should be transferring them, what happens next? How do they transfer them over? Are they using Ring Central? Are they using something else to call people? What's going on?
So we're using Follow Up Boss, and they create the appointment in Follow Up Boss, which that triggers an automation that adds a tag that is just says appointment set group. And then I told Follow Up Boss anytime that tag is added to assign the lead to a group of agents called the appointment set group. So the appointments are actually round robined. So instead of round robining leads, I'm round robining appointments. Now, what we will be doing is if the call is inside of Follow Up Boss, you can do a live transfer. You can actually call the agent and do that live transfer. Right now, it's a little messy just because whereas part of the ISA's day is manually calling inside of Follow Up Boss, the prospecting is in Mojo because that has a two-way sync with Follow Up Boss.
I love that. All right. So it's a combination.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Perfect. Let's see what, you know what? Jeff has a good question, man. Jeff, great question. Barry, I'm going to go to this one with you.
Okay.
Anyone else experiencing a poor response on lead conversion and appointment setting performance when the VA has an accent or has poor English?
Well, poor English, yeah. I mean, you can't talk, like makes it hard to communicate. I don't know how it works with Virtudesk, but I like to give the potential hire a custom paragraph and record it and send it to me so that I know what they sound like.
Yep.
But then the other thing is now that one of my VAs has worked with me for 5 years now. So I made him the head ISA. And I did not recognize how powerful that would be. That was a big change for me because now I have him overseeing the rest of them. What we do is we want our ISAs to celebrate their accent. We have found that when your VA is nervous and trying to hide that they speak another language, it is a disaster. And so allowing them to celebrate where they're from, regardless of where they physically are. So instead of stumbling on my words and saying, I'm so sorry, it's more, I stumble on my words and I say, I'm so sorry. I've been working with Barry for a long time. English is my second language. So let's just roll with it. You know what I mean? Let's stop trying to be afraid of it.
That's good, man. I love that. I love how you embrace it too. And I have to say the exact same thing because I've had a VA or VAs since 2009. So we've never had a challenge when it comes to losing anybody because of an accent. Of course, if they don't speak English well, but look, one of the very first things that we do, besides Virtudesk gives you a choice of a whole bunch of VAs, one of the first things that we do is we want them, those people that we like, Barry, we want them to send us a video. And I want them to talk about whatever it is they enjoy, where they worked before, what do they do on the weekend? Do they have kids? Do they have fun? What is it? What? I want you to tell me stuff. And that allows me to hear how they speak and how they communicate, right? And to me, that's important. So that's what I want you to do too. When you go to Virtudesk here in the link, I know, Barry, provide the link, please, because I know there's a big sale going on for Virtudesk, like $350 off or something. When you go there and you say, hey, I want a social media person, I want a video editor, I want an executive admin, or I want an ISA. I want you to, when you're interviewing these people, I want the extra step to be send me a video. Send me a video of you talking because I want to make sure that you can communicate well. All right.
Right.
So Don. Oh, go ahead, Barry.
This isn't ISA specific, but I had a really interesting VA. So since then, now I've got 4 transaction managers. So we moved to a almost completely virtual transaction management team, a website designer, graphics designer, and 2 copywriters for SEO. So like I've really gone gangbuster on this. And one of the best hires would not do a video chat with me.
Wow.
He was like,
wait, not even initially send you a video?
oh.
Oh,
At
nice.
first I was like, oh, and I was like, well, hold on a second.
What's going
This is
on?
a website designer. Do I need this person to like talking with me via video? And I was like, not really. And if she's so like resistant to that, because maybe she doesn't speak good English, or I don't know. Anyway, dude, if you saw the work that she's done,
What a great
like,
point.
yeah, the work she's done, like Kiwi, Kiwi, he was like,
Yeah.
whoa, wait, what are you paying for? And I told him, and he's like, can I have her?
Look, Barry, that's a great point. If you're looking to hire somebody who's going to interact with your database or your clients, of course you want them to have good grammar, right? They're going to have an accent. That's part of it. Robert Slack, the #1 team in the world, 250 VAs, they're all international, all right? So get over yourself. It doesn't matter. The other part to this is if you're going to have them work on, for example, I've got 5 full-time video editors.
Dang.
And none of the, well, one of them speaks really well. The other ones kind of have an accent, and that's okay. And you know what? They don't ever talk to anybody, but damn, their skills are awesome. One of them worked for a Cartoon Network and did My Little Pony on the back end, all the visuals. And dude, he is working on some amazing stuff for us. And I'm like, that's our animation. Holy cow. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in fair pay is being brought up, and this is where for my people, knowing that they have steady work, and if they're sick, they're not going to get fired, and they get holidays off, and if they have a problem, they can talk to me. Honestly, that's worth way more to them than a cushy salary. Consistency is what they're looking for. And when you look at the way that the money transfers, $5 an hour in certain countries is actually a lot of money. So anyway, I know you got to jump on your next session.
I got to, and you too. So Barry, thank you for jumping on.
I miss you.
I miss you too, brother.
All right. Okay, bye.
I even grew my beard for you, just a little
bit. I know,
bit.
I appreciate it.
Just a little bit. All right, everybody.
Now, though. You're so skinny.
Yeah, well, I've been working out a little bit. It's the hat. You ever notice it just makes me look thinner? It makes me look thinner.
You're skinny now.
Dan. All right, everybody. Remember, jump off, go to the lobby, join me in Jeff Pfitzer session for social media. We're going to dive into that virtual assistant. Barry, you rock. Anybody who needs an agent out of Virginia Beach, he's the #1 agent team for Better Homes and Gardens.
Number one.
Not number 2. #1. All right, everybody. See you on the other session. Go to the lobby. Join me now. Jeff Pfitzer, everybody. He is all over social media. He's my business partner in some things here and there. Helps us with the LCA podcast. Also runs Pfitzer Media, USA Mortgage. And this guy's amazing. And of course, we've got Pablo. What's up, Pablo? He's the CEO of Virtudesk.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Co-host this one with me. And Jeff, let's talk a little bit about social media. And first, what the hell are you drinking? What is that?
It's LaCroix.
What flavor?
Black raspberry.
Ooh, I haven't tasted that one.
It's pretty good. It's pretty
Pablo, do you even drink LaCroix, Pablo, or no?
No, I don't drink any sugarly, just water, bro.
Water. Oh, look at that, Jeff. What the hell's wrong with you, Jeff?
This is water, 0 calories, 0 sweetener.
I don't know.
It doesn't
bro.
taste like water.
So just go to have some, tap cola. I call it tap cola. Go drink tap water. It's called tap cola.
That's in this cup.
That's tap cola right there for you, man.
That's right.
It's so funny. Jeff, I want to start off with you by you telling me that story with your VA, who's a video editor, because you posted it to the Virtudesk community leverage, and you got a lot of love on that one. Yeah. And I think that's one aspect of hiring a virtual assistant that we don't always see, or understand? Can you tell me the story and then we'll get into everything else?
Yeah, the part of the story I didn't tell you was that it started with, so I have a VA who does and manages my YouTube, and he makes my videos, he jazzes them up, makes them look way cooler than just a typical talking head video, which in and of itself is a worthy investment. But he was, so I have a VA who also manages Instagram, and that VA was telling me, hey, your videos are not optimal size for Instagram. So you might want to have him make some adjustments so you can see all the text in Instagram. And so I went to Billy and I was like, hey man, this is what I got. Can you make this adjustment? And he goes, yeah, bro, I'll do that for you. No problem. And I said, and I replied, this is the business side of me that said, and Billy, I just want to confirm that I'm only paying for one video. I'm not paying for two videos now because you're optimizing one for IG and one for YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my asshole business side.
Of course.
And his response was, bro, you know how much you do for me. And then he gave me a list. He said, with the payments that you make to me and all the business you give to me, I've been able to buy a new laptop for my wife's business. Now she can work from home, and it's helped pay for my child's schooling. And he's like, I'm so thankful for you, blah, blah, blah. And it was really, really cool. Then I kind of felt like a dick, but
good. I hope you learned from it.
It was, I'm glad I said something, because I never would have, hit that chord. But it also reminded me that, I'm still running a business, and two, we are really impacting these people's lives, and it's really cool because they're impacting ours too. So it's win-win.
Well, let's get right into it, Jeff. I love that story because I think that's the human aspect of hiring a virtual assistant. Pavel and I always talk about that somehow that's missed, and these are real people, and the better you treat them, the more they're going to do for you, just like anybody else. Right. So,
yeah, big time. And let me just do a little sidestep. We had one of our sales guys in the Philippines, and we just found out he had a stroke on Thursday night. But again, nobody knew where he was. He didn't show up for work. So Elias, our sales director, tried to get a hold of his daughter. So he got a hold of her yesterday. So they went to his house, found him. He's been there like since Thursday, laying there. So the guy's in a hospital, and the guy's in a hospital. But again, we cannot let our people go. So we're taking care of the medical bills and arranging everything, make sure that he's being taken care of. Yeah. This is people's business, so
that's very true, man. Very true.
Yeah.
And look, when you treat them well, that's what I want to showcase, Jeff. I'm going to showcase your Instagram and your YouTube because you have virtual assistants that run this, right? And you talk to me about this because there's a cadence, there's a pattern. And this is where I want people to understand that when you hire a social media manager, by the way, Virtudesk is doing a great deal. So check out their link, the Halloween special. Here we go, Jeff. This is your Instagram, and we're going to go into your YouTube, and you've got quite a few followers. Awesome. I like this layout, but here's where it starts getting awesome. You pepper in your own stuff, like the videos, right?
Yep.
And then you have your virtual assistant kind of create the content and gather it from the internet, right? Like this looks nice. I love the color. So help me understand the branding, the colors. Was that you? What is you here and what isn't?
No, it was actually my VA. So, that's the thing, is that I think a lot of people might think that, you're going to have to hire these people and basically train them. And the reality is they've probably done more training of me than I've done of them. I come with the content. I'm good at that. And basically they said, we need to tighten this up. It needs to be more, there needs to be more continuity. It needs to be consistent. And that's where we led. And so they kind of analyzed what I already had, which light blue is a popular color. And then they added the yellow and said, we're going to make this consistent. It's going to be across, we're going to add your logo to every single thing that we do. And so we talked through, like, what does your content need to be around? And so for me, you can see it's two very distinct categories. One is real estate related, and the other is social media tips and tricks. And because that's what I want to be known for.
So I want to dig a little deeper on this because you mentioned that they're the ones kind of guiding you now, but it wasn't like that at the beginning, dude. You were like micromanaging, you were telling them what to do, and you guys were kind of getting to know each other. Tell me about that, because a lot of the times, Pablo and I were talking about this yesterday. We had somebody go in and saying, hey, this isn't working out. It had only Pablo, it'd been like what, a week, 2 weeks, and they're already butting heads with the VA, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
normal. So Jeff, I want you to tell me how we should roll with it instead of how people normally roll with it.
Well, I mean, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to your audience or any audience for that matter, but if you think you're going to hire anybody and it's not going to take you time to train them, you probably shouldn't be hiring anyone of from anywhere. You have unrealistic expectations and you're going to fail in that regard. So you need to prepare yourself, and it doesn't matter if I'm hiring somebody local that's in my office or I'm hiring someone that's thousands of miles away. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some micromanaging, and it's up to you as to how you want them to be. And if I can digress for a second, you know, my assistant, who's now in management and has taken on a big role in our mortgage business. In the very beginning, I was so micromanaging of her. I said, you can't send an email to a borrower without sending it to me first. Which, you know, that's super anal, but I'm like, listen, I took years to build these relationships. I want to get this stuff right. And so the same thing applies to your social media. And so in the beginning, especially, there was a lot, I'm very neurotic about typos and grammar and spelling. And there were mistakes in the beginning. And so I held her accountable and I said, listen, this is not okay. This is not acceptable. At the very least, I need words properly spelled. I need the grammar to be correct because it's a reflection of me. And so if you can't get this right, then we probably need to go separate ways. And I tell you what, man, they've crushed, man. So yeah, it took a couple of months, probably 2-3 months of me micromanaging it. And then I was like, damn, you guys are doing a fantastic job. And now, gosh, I a lot of times I'm not even seeing my posts until I'm engaging with them.
All right, on that, because that's important right there, Jeff. By the way, I'm in the same boat you are. They create so much stuff for me. I don't even, we can't even post fast enough now at this point. Jay has a great question. Social media VA, are they creating the content or are we sending content and they will post?
So in the beginning, you are guiding them. And so in a lot of cases, it's you're telling them what type of topics you want them to be posting about, or you tell them the route that you want to go. You give them a lot of examples. That's what happened in the beginning. After we got through that honeymoon phase, I send them almost nothing. Every once in a while, I'll see a quote or I'll have an idea and I'll be like, here it is, make this pretty. And that's it. And I'm telling you, that's probably 1 out of 50 posts. They do almost 100% of the creation now because they understand me. They've been following me. They're watching me and they get it. And they've just evolved it. And it's beautiful.
You know what, man? Since you and I use the same VAs in some cases, right?
Yep.
And because once we find talent, we're like, damn, let's stick to this. Our VAs use to publish, and this is for you to understand, they use the back end of Facebook. So Facebook creator, Instagram creator, to be able to post a lot of this stuff. And I want to see if I can just showcase that really quick so people understand. Yeah, I got it. Perfect. All right, I'm going to showcase mine because I don't have access to yours, Jeff, just so people understand where they're posting. So you see here, this is Facebook creator on the back end. You see, this is all the content that they're posting. This is them posting it. And you go to Instagram, right? It's the same thing. They're doing all of that. And you want to see the coolest thing about this? One of our separate VAs created drunkonsocial.com. And then when it was done, they said, we're done, sent it to Jeff and I, and we're like, oh crap, it's done. And to us, that was absolutely amazing because Jeff, how long have we been trying to do this? Now they have, check this out. They have all of this. They have blogs that they post. So people are asking, are these people, these VAs, are they good at writing? Right? How about the content? Jeff, what do you have to say on that, man?
I would hire them probably 9 times out of 10 before most of my American counterparts and colleagues, to be honest with you. They're as eloquent, if not more, grammatically correct than sadly, a lot of my own employees.
Yeah. Now, this is where we just hired this one, right? So look, if you're looking to hire one, go to Virtudesk. There's a great discount. We just put up the link there. Barry, could you do me a favor and put the link one more time? But when you're doing this, remember, it does take 1-2 months. Because Jeff, even this amazing writer that we got, right? They still had to find the right style. So we'd have to read it through and we're like, no, that's not the style, right? And now this person's been with us for about 2 months now. And it only took them about a month to get it going.
If that. Yeah. Well, and I think one of the things people have to realize is when we're interviewing these people, most of these people come with a very high level of education.
Yeah.
Very impressive actually. And so we're not talking about, we're just pulling people off the streets here. I mean, we're talking about a very well educated and in many cases, very experienced person. In this particular case, this guy had a lot of experience doing copywriting.
Dude,
and we got lucky.
30 days. Look how many blogs I hadn't looked, Jeff. Look how many blogs this guy's written for us. See, I'm still going. This is what we can use a VA for once we have the duties and tasks outlined, right? I'm still scrolling. This is what you should be saying. Look, you're in real estate. You should be saying, I'm going to hire a VA, social media. I'm going to hire a blogger to go in niche and just write about the tracks, write about places to eat, write about places to go, write about what to do here, what to do there, right? All of a sudden, you're going, well, Zillow can't beat me in this niche area because I have so much content. Then you throw that into a newsletter that your VA writes for you and make sure that you send. Jeff, we've got somebody running our newsletter. What else? Dude, tell me everything that we have.
Yeah, we've got the copywriter. We've got a creative, what would you call it? A creative or a digital
graphic designer.
Video, that's what I'm looking for.
Video editor.
Video editor. We've got a director of operations. We have separately a content creator, and then I have the YouTube. So I guess technically I've got 6 working for me, and we're continuing to scale it. I mean, you're at 23. It's powerful. And there's a lot of questions I'm seeing here too that we might want to address that are very relevant.
I want to ask one to Pavel, because Pavel, I don't have the answer to this one because we're actually going to be looking for one. So I'm going to be calling you.
Sure. What's the answer? What's the question?
Simone says, do they create Facebook and Google PPC ads as well?
It depends what kind of person you hire. We do train them on some of that, but as far as the PPC goes and Google Ads, they can, we'll put them with people who actually know it better, so they can actually up-train them, or they can self-learn, because they do encourage to learn by themselves. But again, we'll get you somebody who is more likely to be familiar with that, like a subject matter expert who can help them with that. So we have subject matter experts on the team with that, But again, not all of them, not all of the VAs know how to do it. So the person you choose, the person you hire is going to be most suitable. We'll definitely put them with SMEs, subject matter experts.
Perfect. Good answer, Pavel. Now I'm going to you, Jeff, on this one.
Yeah.
How would they write about local content, like restaurants, experiences, what to do, just about the area in general? How would they do that?
Yeah. So to give you an example of what we do with our blogs is that we go find the content that we find relevant. So we'll go find articles and would literally just send the article and say, here's something we want you to write about. And so they'll take the article, they'll take the details from the article, and then they'll put it into our words. And so it's that's the best way to do it. I think you just want to find, you're going to be the one scouring, looking for the content or subscribing to things. Tristan and I, we subscribe to various newsletters and things like that. And then and news outlets. And then we just grab that stuff and have them put it into our own words, essentially. And then that way we are then repositioning it to be the authority. And that's exactly what you could do, is take local content, local things that are happening, anything, and say, turn this into a blog article. And anybody who's a blog writer knows exactly what that means and how to do it. And you can even train them to say, here's some examples of things that I've written, so they know how to write it to make it look like it's you. And so that's what these guys are good at, guys.
Good point, man. Good point. I want to showcase this little graphic that, again, Virtudesk made for us. Task for a social media manager. I want to go through these with you, Jeff, and then we'll see what else you have to add or what questions we can answer. But do you have them create an editorial calendar of content topics?
Do I?
Yeah. Do you?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't subscribe to a calendar. No.
All right, perfect. At any point, does your VA have a list of items that are going to be produced onto your social media that they have outlined, at least so they know what they're doing?
I think when it pertains to events or maybe various holidays, yes, but otherwise it stays fairly general. If there's anything like I said, I subscribe to various industry blogs, and I use that then to create content for that's like, time sensitive, and then I just forward it on to them. So it's more real time than it is sticking on a schedule.
I like that. Do they create graphics for social media posts for all of them?
Oh yeah.
All right. Do they write social media copy?
All of it.
Do they schedule the social media posts?
All of it.
Here's a good one. Do they answer comments, replies, and DMs? Do they answer those, or is that you?
I do it, but I could. It's an option, but I'm still very active and I like to stay active, so I choose to do it myself.
And manage follower growth of all social accounts by engaging with others in that space.
Yes.
All right. Prepare regular reports on social listening to inform content creation, like what they should be creating.
Yep.
All right. And pitch to other influencers and social media personalities to collaborate with.
I've done this in the past. I don't like it, so I don't do it anymore.
All right, good. And lastly, just on this little list, research new trends and adopt new social media campaigns to expand your business reach.
100%.
All right, dude, I agree. I do this. I mean, damn, that's why we do such a great job, man. That's the key to this. The key to this is to just finally let go, guys. Stop micromanaging and trying to think you're the one that can do it best, because that's what's holding you back. You just have to let it go, outline the duties and tasks, let Virtudesk just do their thing, which is, hey, we've got the duties and tasks. Let us train them. And now let us throw them to you. Now you're going to have to train, like Jeff said, any business that you think you can run without actually having to train people, you're nuts. So give it 2 months. And in our case, Jeff and we've been doing this for a while. So it took us, even with our newest hire here through Virtudesk, it took us about a month to get going, right? And now you saw how many blogs this guy has written. Questions for you. Simone asks, this is a Pavel question. I'll go between both of you. Pavel, are there packages where you can hire more than one VA, like a package deal? Like if you hire 2 or 3, anything like that?
Oh, we have people who hire, like we have companies who hire like 15, 20. So yeah, but it's all individually discussed. So the best way to do it is, again, just contact our sales department and discuss it with them. But you don't have to hire only one. I mean, as I said, we have people or teams who hire like by a dozen. So
makes sense. All right. How do you pay them, Pavel? What? Because you're in Washington, you run this company out of the state of Washington.
Yeah, we're in the state of Washington. Yeah, and we're in the state of Washington. Yeah, what's the question? If somebody hires through Virtudesk, we just charge your credit card and we take care of that. So they're being compensated by our company in the Philippines, because the Virtudesk is actually incorporated both in the state of Washington and in the Philippines. So they're all employed by Virtudesk Philippines company.
All right. And another question, I think this one's for you too, by Mark. What's up, Mark? If I have several areas that need attention, SEO, some website landing page work, video editing, and YouTube optimization, and blog writing, all together might be full-time, would I need to hire 4 part-timers, or could I find one that does this all?
Well, it depends on the load. I mean, I would probably hire one full-time person who's going to be a dedicated person to start on all of them. But at the same time, that person will be the one who will essentially later become your executive VA or director of ops, because once you grow, you would actually need more people to handle each aspect of that. And if you go to our website, we actually put together the organizational chart. If you go to myvirtudesk.com, there's an organizational chart that you can actually see, which actually spells out what exactly each role should be. Just right on the homepage, if you guys scroll down, so Tristan, you can scroll down and you can actually open up and see it, Tristan. You can share the screen.
I'm gonna share right now.
Yeah. So you'll have an idea as far as what each person should be doing in your organization.
Oh, that's cool. Did you guys pop that up there, huh? I missed that when you showed it to me last, because I know you guys. Let me go on really quick. All right, you say, where do I go from here?
It's on the homepage. Scroll down.
Oh,
Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. There we go. Explore interactive chart right here. And you can click on each one of them, what it is. Admin recruiting, leads manager. You can click on the blue ones and it's going to show you what everybody does.
That's pretty awesome, bro.
Yeah. And you can go back to click into operations manager right there. No. Operations manager. It takes you back. So the director of marketing. So that actually gives you an idea. If you hire somebody who's going to become your operations manager, the director of operations, what the positions later should become.
Okay, I'm gonna grab that link and throw it into the chat. I didn't know that was there, man.
Oh yeah, we
put that there.
Put it there, bro. Yeah.
All right, a couple more questions, then we'll shift over to the next session. Jeff, some of these questions might go to you too, so hold on.
Sure.
Do they have access to stock video images, or is that content we need to provide? Jeff, do you provide that for them, or do they have access to that?
They provide their own stuff. These guys are all very, very well adept, just like anybody you'd hire here. They know how to find that stuff.
Perfect. And a lot of these places like Pexels, it's free. So good question, Eaton. Donna, do you give them a 1099 at the end of the year? Pavel, that's a question for you.
You send 1099 to Virtudesk. We're a US corporation. So send 1099 to us and that's it.
Perfect. Delore or Delore. I'm sorry if I screwed the crap out of that name, Delore. Sorry. If I want to start with a multitask VA, what's the pay per hour average, Pavel?
The multitask would be somebody like executive assistant. We're looking at about $11, $12 an hour.
Perfect. Chris, what's up, Chris? I didn't see you on here. So do the VAs only have access to the back end, Facebook, Instagram content creator, or what access do you grant them, Jeff?
I do not grant, I only grant them you don't, well, I shouldn't say I do this. They agree with me. Like if you want to give them your logins, you're liable to get shut down because it's going to look like you've gotten hacked. So you really only want to give them back end, or that you want them posting through third parties. Most VAs know this now because we've all experienced it. Tristan's experienced this and as have I. So like if I want somebody to log in to Instagram as me, I'm hiring somebody local for that, but I don't currently have one, and I'm managing just fine without it. So
yep, good answer. Delaware says for calling, do they use their own phone, Pavel, or do they use?
We provide, well, you can provide them with a dialer or any kind of whip system. Obviously they don't use their own phone, but if it's a VoIP, whatever you use the service like Ring Central, we're using Timble. We actually have a link on our website about Timble, or you can use Google Voice or Skype. So that's what they use. If you're using Ring Central or Timble, you can actually purchase it in California. So you can purchase your own number, and it's going to have area code for Malibu, California.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I love it, dude. So to answer that, Delar, you can use Virtudesk's dialer, which is Timble, or you can go and find another one. It's just built in, so it's much easier. Good answer. All right, guys. Jeff.
what's that?
He went mute, right?
Yeah, Tristan went mute.
Yeah. I think the time ran out or something. Zoom is acting up, bro.
Hey, thanks for having me, buddy.
All right,
Glad to be
brother.
here. Hey, and if anybody needs any questions that they didn't get answered, just shoot me a DM. I'm happy to help.
All right, brother. I'll
See you guys.
see you later.
You guys have a really nice setup there at the Whissel group. Can you give me a rundown of the production that you do, and then we'll get into the tech stack?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we're on track to hit between 380 and 400 million this year. That'll put us just under 500 units sold. We're in San Diego, California with Kyle Whissel, the Whissel Realty Group. And we have right now, we have 63 producing agents and about 15 admin on staff with another 6 virtual assistants, and quickly growing that side of it.
I love it. And Chris, VanderValk, have you talked to Pavel before? You guys met?
I've not. It's a great to
No,
meet
bro,
you.
it's first time I meet you, man.
First of many.
Well, Pavel, Chris is a great guy.
I know
man.
Kyle very well, you know, Kyle Whissel, I know him very well.
Yeah, he gets out there a little bit more than me.
Yeah. Are you going to be at the EXP Con in Vegas?
I will not. I'm in Vegas right now. I'm actually at Inman right now. So I popped up to the room hosting this, and I'm going to go back and watch some great speakers. And
we're supposed to be at Inman, but we're going to be at EXP Con.
Great. I think Kyle will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for doing this, buddy. Let's get right into the tech stack, because one thing that I love about your team is that you do so well when it comes to technology. You adapt things. And look, that's what this is about. We were testing out Zoom events, and we're like, how's it going to work, right? And so far, it's like a 50-50 shot. But regardless, let's talk about your tech stack of what you're using right now, because I think it's important. The VAs that come in, the staff that you come in, the agents that you have, they all see it as something that's valuable. Let's talk about what you guys use first. What comes to mind when I say, tell me about the tech stack that holds your team together? What would that be?
Yeah, for me, that would start with, and less is more. I'm just going to say that. I think we've been on a bunch of different webinars, and you've probably heard us talk about one different tech stack or another piece of the tech stack, but it all starts for us with Follow-Up Boss. I won't get super nerdy into APIs and all that side of things, but for us, that was our kind of our hub of all of our technology. And our one rule that when we found that was we wanted to be able to put on building blocks as needed and eliminate certain blocks as they weren't needed. And so Follow-Up Boss is our hub that we start everything with. From there, we have a YLOPO search attached to that in our backend search site. That's attached. Our agents obviously love that for the obvious reason. For other CRMs we came from, we had to do a lot of management of putting clients on searches and things like that. With YLOPO, we're auto searching every lead that we create. Our ISC team obviously loves that as well. Currently, we're using open to close, shorted as OTC. So for us, that's basically our admins for transaction coordinators and listing managers. That is their Follow-Up Boss. What's really great about when I say it blends into it is for us, that is a native app inside a FUB. So if my agents have transaction dates coming up or due diligence dates, things that are coming up in the transaction inside of their FUB account, they can see everything the transaction manager can see and any communication they've had as well natively in FUB. So for the transaction managers, they're almost operating in completely separate software, which they are, but to the agent, it feels like they're operating in their CRM, which is what's important to them. And then from there, our inside sales team really heavily uses call action to qualify our leads. We're doing that on 100% of leads that we purchase. Trying to think. And then CSU is our numbers. That's where we're looking at our year-over-year trends, quarterly trends. We're really measuring bigger zoomed out data. I love it for competitions. We're doing a lot of that. And then the last piece I think we're using actively, I hope I'm not forgetting anything, is Octum. Started using that about 2 months ago. And Octum for us is really kind of a short code for actually our virtual assistant team who helps with our leads manager. So one leads manager stateside who runs the team. And then we have 2 additional under her that run the leads kind of follow up in that cadence with the agents. I hope I'm not forgetting. I think that's our full thing. But all of those things connect directly to FUB. And we don't have any admin entering data into those other systems. They're all connected to FUB natively. So for our agents and for our key people, it all feels like one software.
All right, let's talk about how you're using your VAs though, because you said some of them are inputting or at least taking care of Octum. Tell me about how you're using you said you have 5 VAs or 7?
Yeah, and we're going to hire. So I look to hire about 6 more on the transaction side. So actually it's really not even just Octum that they're doing. Where I start with a VA, and I think a lot of us do, is like we all know VAs can do data management or repetitive things. I hired my first personal VA as my personal assistant. He's more of an $8 an hour VA. So he was former IBM. He was with a project management team there. He's my personal assistant. He's smarter than me. So I'm handing things off to him that I can't finish because I have a lot of projects going. I'm not a great finisher. I'm great at executing, small projects at a time or very key projects. But in my position, in all of ours, you have a lot of things coming and going, same as the agent does. So his role really for me is to finalize and button up projects that we're working on and take them to the next step so I can jump in at key moments that where my our efforts are needed. For our transaction management, our VAs with OTC, why we like that so much is the TC was the hardest position for us to try to hire for. We actually lost a really great TC earlier this year. And the thing I found out about TCs from partnering with different companies is it's in a very specific position. They're very protective of their agents, the relationship with their agents, the relationship with the transactions, like they're very close to that. And it's a hard position to fill for. And so as we want to grow from, let's say, 30 agents to 60 agents, we knew that we had to grow that and we didn't have a lot of talent in that position. And we weren't really finding it in the open job market. So that's where we started thinking, how do we use VAs to help with the TCing? But anyone that's TC to file well knows it's a very complex process. And there's a lot of things that you need to know about, whether it's VA, whether it's termite needs to be done. There's all these different nuances of when you need to do what, especially here in California, right? Where we're not an attorney state. And so it's like, how do we teach VAs to do this without spending all this time to ramp up? Because we don't have the time to spend. So that's where we found OTC, where basically it puts tasks based off of what was in our intake form, and it puts that task in a more repetitive form with a little widget that shows a little video. So if they forget how to do that task, right in front of the VA. So now as we start to build that virtual team for transaction management, we can confidently know their training curve is going to be really low. It's not going to take a lot for them to grasp and be confident with their role. And that's the same thing our leads manager is doing right now with Octum, is Octum's just populating leads that are coming up that are either abandoned or an agent might have missed, or maybe the ISA didn't call back. And that VA understands this is kind of my parameters, my left and right variants. This is where I operate. These are the lists I push notifications for. These are where I do nudges. And they just have this kind of repetitive cadence. So they're just running that really wholly and fully for us on the Octum side right now. And we're building to that on the VA side. Or on the TC side, sorry.
So talk to me about Octum in general. Why have Octum and why have Sisu? What's going on there?
Yeah, a lot of people have asked that. And so I don't think both are necessary for everyone. And I don't think either is needed or mandatory for everyone. I think it's, I'm always really cautious. I don't think you throw money or tech at problems to solve. Processes solve problems, and then tech reinforces it with more streamlined process management and more automated process management. So that's kind of how I look at it. So I don't want to say having accountability for your agents is needed before you can implement Octum. So there's always steps that you need to implement. But for Octum, for what it does for us, is it's very hyper connected with CRM. So it's pulling, and they're using AI as well to look and scrub notes, call frequency, website search history. They're using a lot of complex algorithms to judge where this lead is at and where we've maybe had a high alert fallout.
Got it.
Sisu is a very valuable tool, but I look at Sisu in more of a way is, who have my ISA team met with in the last 90 days that are still in the met stage and not in the pending? So then I can export that. I can go through a spreadsheet, and now I can go through the CRM with an agent in a leads manager and go one by one with all met appointments ISA set in the last 90 days with them. Where's this lead at? Are we still working with that one? So Sisu is a little bit more like historical data, and Octum to me is more opportunity hunting and finding without having to go through every single lead in the CRM.
All right, take me through the training, because I find that the training is a challenge for most people in general when they're hiring VAs. What does that look like?
Stateside people, like, let's be honest, hiring average talent's tough. Hiring and training great talent is just as hard. Like the training thing for, I think, any position, I don't think it's just a VA complexity. I think, especially in our industry, most people haven't managed or led a lot of people. So where we found that, actually, a little story, our first VA we ever hired, our operations manager, she hired for it. And she broke down crying with me, like in the stress of trying to outsource this. She couldn't figure it out. And I kept telling her over and over, all you have to do is make it just black and white, yes, no rules. Everything you teach in the first iteration, which is going to be 90 to 100 days, you need to make it very black and white so they can't fail. It can't, don't use adjectives, don't use describing words that aren't very specific. Like, be specific about what you want them to do. Don't use that thing or, and this, like, be very specific, leave nothing kind of gray. And then we add lots of Loom videos. It's a free tool, so it's great. we record every single process we hand off and elevate and delegate via a Loom video, clicking every step and walking through how exactly we do it. So a combination of that. And then now we have VAs that are an ecosystem that now we take those videos that we make and they end up writing the SOPs, and now they kind of help train the other VAs, which is a really helpful. So I think it's important. The same thing with ISAs, kind of a little tangent there. I always think when you build an ISA team, you have to have a lead ISA. Like you have to have someone to own that department. I feel the same way about the VA side. Like you have to have someone that's going to connect with that group of people better than you can in a more authentic way that you trust as kind of your leader in that group. And then that makes the things you don't see firsthand more apparent to you, so you can be a better leader for them. But also it helps you understand where, because especially in Filipino culture, it's a very pleasing and helpful culture, but they're not high D's the way some of our business people here stateside. So if they have an issue, they're not going to be the first to complain or maybe you speak up and be upset, but they might internally be struggling. So I think it's very helpful to have kind of that lead person that you can rely on to keep both the culture and the training aspect where you want it to be.
All right. I like that. So tell me what you're going to look for hiring next. So let's say you were going to Virtudesk to hire. You said you want to hire like 5 more. Is that what you said?
Oh, at least I've got our org chart built out to 2023, 2024 right now, where we're looking to do $1 billion in sales volume in San Diego alone. And so you got to figure out, you got to have that plan built before you start bringing agents on, or you fail your agents.
Dude, all right. Talk to me about the support team here. Just on the VA side, what does that look like for you hiring?
Yeah.
Who's next?
Yep. So one of our first I want next is a data scientist. So I need someone. I have in every position. I feel like they have the best person. I have the best director of sales, best director of inside sales. My director of operations is strong. Kyle Whissel is a G. Like everyone on our team is very strong. The problem is if my key people have to go look for the data they need to make the right decisions or see where we're missing the ball or we're really excelling, that's time spent away from coaching the people that we need coached or bringing the next talent to the organization or making those quick and nimble decisions. So I want data scientists underneath at least both inside and outside sales to start putting reports together on a daily, weekly, or whatever outside of just what Octum does, maybe pulling some of what's already in CISU and just putting it in more of a slide deck of, let's say, 20 pages and present every day on Mondays before the sales meeting. Here's what the organization looks like from a data sense. Start to build some charts out. That's where now if our key people can look at ebbs and flows and check for variance differences and some of these key metrics, we can start to make better decisions faster, which benefits both the organization and the agents.
All right.
I like first is that data side. After that, our transaction management team, we'll hire about 5 just for that.
All right. So on the data side, I want to understand that a little bit more. So let's say I was hiring a VA just to do the data analytics. What does that look like? Where do they get their information? And what type of data are you looking for?
Yep, great question. So for us, for example, like CISU is amazing, Octum is amazing, Follow-up Boss is amazing, Call Action, amazing. They all have their own reporting system. There is not, and I'm not a data studio wizard by any means, so I'm not great at pulling all this, but I know where to go. If, for example, if I want to talk to my director of inside sales, and I would say, hey, where are we on connected conversations and how are those talk times going? I know in CISU, because how we have it synced for our agents, because we're a little bit more liberal with our expectations with them than our ISAs, our call time to count a conversation is much lower. But if I want to talk a real conversation with my inside sales team, FUB has the data I'm looking for 2-minute minimum as their conversation length. So that's one example where if I wanted to, at a quick assessment with 3 key people, make these inferences, I got to go open up FUB, pull the number. Then I got to go up to CISU, look at different numbers for the agents. Then I got to go to Call Action, see how many calls we missed last week. FUB is Follow-up Boss. And so now I got to go to Call Action to see answer rates for different inbound campaigns that we have. Then I might need to go to open to close and see how many transactions we've had fall out and make sure that adds up in CISU. So there's a lot of these great tools, but none of it's perfect because real estate is so complex and we're all doing it so differently and doing it well differently, but there's so many ways to do each and every model. So at the end of the day, these tech companies, there's no way they can build a one-size-fits-all solution that gets us everything we need when we need it. And so now to the point where we're at, where we're spending, several $100,000 a month in just operating costs outside of salaries, like it makes us definitely need to focus on what are the key metrics we need to know. And I think as we evolve, they'll start looking at even more sophisticated data points that I'm not even worried about right now. But at the very beginning and the very minimum, I want to know how many of my agents have past due, things. That's a report my leads manager can get. Just all about bringing the highest stuff into a one sheeter or a one slide presentation, so then they can go take action and faster.
I love that, man. And that just shows you how, because you have this all outlined, or you're going to outline this, tasks, duties, and everything else. This is why this person's going to be successful in the position, right?
Because they are confident that they know that we know what they need to do. I think it's easy to hire people thinking people solve the problem, but processes solve the problem. People help execute those processes. But you can plug great people into an organization, but you can plug great people in with bad processes and bad infrastructure, and they're going to fail, even if they're great. So
agreed, Chris. All right, question from Jose. So how many sales did the team do in 2020? Or I guess
yeah, great question. Our goal last year to go to Cabo for the whole team was 400 transactions. On December, I think it was 29th, we hit 401 for the total for the year, 401 or 403. This year we'll do just around 500. But our sales volume has increased significantly as our average sales price went from last year at about 585 to we're about 740 average price this year. So our sales volume went up significantly because of that.
That's awesome, man. I love it. So good luck on that. And you're going to be at EXPCon?
I will not. I think Kyle will. I'm not going to speak for him. I think so, though. I feel like he said that. I'm at Inman right now, so that's kind of my retreat away to come learn and meet with other brilliant tech people and
nice.
Try to take some great things away.
I love it, man. All right, so for those who are going to be there, we'll see you there. I know Virtudesk is going to be there. I'm not going to be there, but I know Pavel will be, or his team will be. And if you're not going to go there, obviously go on, take a look.
Maybe I'll surprise myself and I'll end up there. We'll see. It's Vegas. You can always end up here.
Who knows? Maybe, right? Who knows? Well, Chris, thanks for jumping on, man. We're going to jump on to the next session. This one's going to be on video editing. So
we have one of those in the org as well. I didn't talk about because I don't oversee them. So highly,
dude,
that's one of our best. We have a huge in-house media team with Brian Kochi and Kyle.
Tell me your media team really quick. What does that look like?
So we have 2 field photographers for properties as well as content. Brian, who's director of media, who oversees them as well as shooting content. Yep. And then Kyle's our director of marketing. He's obviously the brains behind what marketing we need. And then Cedric is our first hire VA on that team. He does all the photo edits for every property, which used to be a 2-people job. He crushes. We just bought him some tools and different software, new computer, because he's killing it for us. So now we're gonna have him start editing video. So we had to upgrade his hardware a little bit to be able to do that. We'll add at least 1 or 2 people to that team for Kyle, the influencer, and kind of the EXP side, as well as doing the Whissel side growth. Because getting, as your last talk was, getting content out there into the ether is so important. And editing is a hard thing, and it's great editors are hard to find. And if you can find editors, I'm excited. I'll have to tune in for a little bit of the next one.
Dude, yeah, I appreciate you, Chris. All right, buddy. Thank you.
Care, guys. Thanks
and everybody else. Let's jump into the lobby and into the next one. Don't you love Zoom events? Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
You beat me to it, Pavel.
I did.
Look at that.
Dude. Yeah, what's going on, man?
We've got our very own Joseph on here already.
Hey, Joseph, how are you doing, man?
Let me just unmute you, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm on mute.
Yeah, dude, this Zoom events is a little bit.
Isn't it the best, Pavel? Come on. It's all right.
Yeah.
Look, we're always, this is what's cool. We're always diving into new tech, new opportunities, and then we decide, was this good or should we go back?
Yeah, if it's going to work out for us or not, right? So there we go.
That's it. That's it. We're always learning. And Joseph, you are the in-house video editor for Virtudesk. You run a lot of their video editorial content. And dude, the very first time I talked to you, I was blown away. You do a very, very, very good job.
Thank you, Tristan.
I'm excited. I'm excited to interview you here with Pavel. And just a reminder for everybody who just jumped on, we are holding a great discount for Virtudesk. If you're jumping on, there's a Halloween discount. Let's put up the link up there. Pavel, I know, is excited about it. I'm about to get another VA, so we're going to go from 23 to 24.
Damn, dude. There we go.
But dude, it's because I keep on talking to people like Joseph. I'm like, damn it, I need another.
Yeah.
It's so
No,
cool.
he's the beast, man. I know.
Yes. So Joseph, let's get right into this, man. Give me a little bit of your background, where you learned all this stuff from, and then let's go right into the presentation.
Yeah, basically, by profession, I'm a chef before, but this is what I love to do. So I quit.
So cool.
Yeah, cooking. Yeah.
So you were cooking, right? You were a chef.
Yeah, I'm a professional chef. Yeah.
Holy
But-
cow, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So.
Well, dude, how did you learn to edit? Because you do an amazing job. When you showed me all the back end stuff, I was like, wow. How'd you learn?
YouTube. Yeah.
So
So self-taught.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, so there you go. This is how people stay on top of it. That's how I learned how to use Final Cut Pro, YouTube.
Yeah.
Right. All right, Joseph, tell me some of the things that you're currently doing right now for Virtudesk on the video editing side. And then do you have a presentation, or are we going to go into more questions?
Let me share my screen.
And I'm going to spotlight you for everybody so everybody sees it. There we go.
So
That's you.
yeah,
Good.
no, yeah, that's me.
I love you. All right.
Yeah.
All right, here
So
we go, buddy.
basically, I'm a video editor for Virtudesk. So I'm a freelance video editing before, but right now I'm working as a full-time video editor here in Virtudesk.
Nice.
So yeah, before I do event coverage, commercials, and music videos, and some short clips for YouTube. Yeah.
Nice. Dude, I see how you already have an eye for even the font. I love that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the video types that I'm working on Virtudesk is video ads. So it's depending on the platform. Google and Facebook provides instructions for size, resolution. So basically, you have specific sizes or resolutions for example, YouTube Shorts. You need a vertical video, and you have a specific time to upload it as shorts to be recognized it as a shorts. So every platform has specific videos.
So I have a question about that. If you want to go up a little bit for the different types of videos.
Mhm.
When we're looking at if we shoot a video, let's say it's about 5-6 minutes long, we send it to you to edit, and we say, hey, help us create reels from this, help us create a TikTok from this, help us create a YouTube short from this. What's that process look like on your end? Like, what tech are you using to be able to do that?
So I'm using multiple softwares to edit. So I'm using, let me jump on the softwares.
Yep. No problem.
I'm using After Effects or Premiere Pro. Basically, it's Adobe products.
Okay.
And Audition, this is for audio. If I need to restore, for example, a voice, I need to use this program to make up the, for example, it has too much reverb. I can manipulate it in here.
All right.
And
And typically, Joseph, this is provided by so I provide this for my VAs, but is this something that you have access to, or does the client usually provide you?
No, this is mine.
That's yours.
Well, he
all
works
mine.
for
Yeah.
Virtudesk basically. So
So if he didn't, Pablo, my question is, if he didn't,
Yeah.
would the client need to provide it, or does the VA that comes with Virtudesk usually have access to this?
well, what usually happens, either client provides that, if they're very serious about running their video platform.
Mhm.
So I would advise clients to have their own stuff so they can just work out of that. They can purchase that.
Yeah.
Because it's an investment. Because it's kind of expensive to have for a VA to purchase that software.
Yep. I agree. All right, good. And it's only like, if you want to subscribe to this monthly, I think it's like
Yeah. I would just actually
$29 a month.
buy it, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Very easy. Dave has a question for you, Pavel, now that you brought that up. And then we'll go back to you, Joseph.
Yeah. Okay.
Pavel, what are the usual hourly rates for a video editor VA, or is this usually project based?
No, it's you can just go to our website, myvirtudesk.com. We have all the pricing right there. And the video editing is probably what we call like a marketing VA. It'll be $9.55 an hour total. So
Nice.
yeah.
Easy, easy. All right, Joseph, back to you. You're using this editing software. Are you using, when it comes to YouTube, are you using things like TubeBuddy, or are you using Morning Fame? Are you using anything like that to gather more information on the back end for your client?
Yeah, but I we're usually I'm sorry, I'm nervous right now.
Hey, no problem, dude. No
Yeah.
problem. Dude. For those of you
Yeah.
listening,
Starstruck.
for those of you listening,
Yeah.
Joseph is used to sitting on the back. If you watched Barry and I were talking, he's like, Barry's like, I don't care if they speak English as long as they can do an amazing job. And
Yeah.
Joseph,
Exactly.
Joseph isn't used to doing presentations, but damn, his stuff is amazing. So, Joseph, it's okay that you're nervous, buddy. Don't even worry. But let's take it on from where you're at right here. Tell me about DaVinci Resolve, Blender, Handbrake, and Canva. Tell me about that.
Yeah, this is also a video editing tool, so you can produce videos inside here. Basically, it's like Premiere Pro that you can build a video, put effects on it, and color grade it, and manipulates audio. And Blender is a 3D software that you can build a CG. So it's like a drawing or more of lines that you can make that looks like in real life.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a question. I'm going to use the Virtudesk videos as an example. Okay. So let's talk about YouTube, and then let's talk about TikTok. If we send you a video, Joseph, that's about, let's say it's about 10 minutes long, and I say, hey, Joseph, help me now create the rest of the content for TikTok, YouTube Shorts, maybe Reels. How long is the turnaround on something like that? How long does it take you to edit?
So 1 hour, 2 hours, depending on the volume of the video.
Okay.
And depending on the style. So
All right.
how complex will be the editing? If it's simple, it can take only 30 minutes like that.
All right. So pretty fast, because some people are wondering,
Yeah.
does it take you days or what does it take you? But
No, it doesn't.
he's pretty quick, guys.
Yeah,
We actually record videos here. What I do, guys, I record videos here in house, like short clips, send them to our Nicole, the TikTok girl. If you guys on our TikTok for Virtudesk, you'll see her. She's a dancing girl. Send it to her and Joseph does those, right, Joseph?
Yes.
For Nicole, he's working together with Nicole. So just if you go to the TikTok for Virtudesk, Nicole is the dancing one.
So first off, this is your TikTok channel, and you guys have been doing amazing growing it. 25,000 followers, which is insane.
She's running it all organic.
Yep. And you do have a VA running this. So here's what we're talking about, where you're editing this. Joseph, he can come in here and take a look and edit these. And what we're noticing is that these tutorials are doing really well for you. 107,000. 10,000. So if you think a VA can't run TikTok,
100,000 right there. You see, 107,000 out of some. Yep.
107,000, 10,000. Here's where we want to break that limiting belief, because Joseph, here, let me zoom out. I'm going to go to up 1, 2, 3. This is something that Pablo shot on his phone, and then easy to send over. He can put the captioning. He can put that little section where it says, Heather, what service can you offer? But this is through TikTok. These are the edits that you can do it within TikTok.
Yeah, this is all done by them, because I don't know how to do that. So,
Joseph, did you run this one? Because this one looks like it would be something you did.
I can't remember, but maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and that's Elias, if you're wondering. So I want to go back to you because a lot of the editing software, we wouldn't want to learn how to use it. This is why we would hire someone like you, right? So let's go back to your presentation. By the way, Cynthia says she's super impressed with your presentation. So there you go, buddy. There you go,
Thank
bro.
you.
So you're doing a very good job. You're doing a very good job. And James says that he appreciates you. So you're getting some good feedback, Joseph.
Thank you, James.
All right, let's go back and this is where we're looking at the editing software. You take over. I won't interrupt you. Go ahead, Joseph.
Yeah. So where are we? So we talk about TikTok.
Yep.
So yeah. So testimonial videos. So if we have clients that has testimonial videos, I need to cut it and clean the audio and then cut the fillers. So it will be presentable, and I'll put some intro on it and outro, just the basics. So I can put some branding and brand awareness. So we have a brand kit. Specifically, we're following all of this logos, colors, fonts, so we can standardize the brand so we can be recognized. So every time that I edit videos, I'm using all of this standard for Virtudesk. So
And I know
social-
he can create about 10 clips a day, usually for social media, for IG stories, for Reels, for TikTok. So usually that's what we see from Joseph, about 10 clips, according to my
if we have
marketing
some video, yeah.
director, Sarah. Yeah. 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 You just gotta, what you gotta do. And we were at the Tom Fair event. What we were doing, let's say we shoot the video like this, okay, with a phone, or somebody points a phone at me, we shoot the video and we send the video to the Dropbox, Google Dropbox,
Yeah, and now
and
edit
from
it
which Joseph has
immediately.
access to, and he can go ahead and do his thing on editing that, and then Nicole will put it up on TikTok or Instagram, whatever we needs to go. Yeah.
Yeah. And Chris is asking if we're going to get Joseph's slides.
Email to sarah@myvirtudesk.com, SERA@myvirtudesk.com, and she'll get them out to you.
Perfect.
Just
There
make
it is.
sure you indicate in the subject line that you need video
Joseph's
editing
slides.
slides. Yeah.
Perfect. And I have a question for either of you. And Pablo, this one maybe more for you, but
Sure.
would somebody who's creating video here and there, would they just hire a video editor, or would it be more like a combination of social media and video editor so that they can kind of tackle both? What would you think?
It depends. If your social media person is actually savvy in video editing, then yes. If your video editor, we keep it separate. Joseph is specifically a video editor.
Mhm.
So, but because we have people who running social, who take it actually his ready videos already, not raw footage, but ready footage and upload it to social. So that's the way we run it, and it's actually more efficient for us because we have we have a YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. So for more efficiency, we like to keep it separate. But for budget friendliness, I'd say if you can find who could do both, you got a jackpot.
Yeah, I agree. And then on top of that, they can also create some graphics here and there. So I think if you're looking for someone like that, and I think most people are, Pavel, I think that's where you would go in, take advantage of the Halloween special, reach out to Virtudesk and say, hey, I'm looking for somebody that kind of does a little bit of both because I don't produce enough video content and I need help on the social media side. And what Virtudesk does is they look through their database of people that work for them and say, hey, these are the experts. Let me have you interview them, and then you can interview and decide if they're a match for you. Right. So that's the way I would do it. And Kenneth, you can also do me a favor if you want to put up the link to the Halloween special or Auberry as well. All right, Joseph, back to the show. Back to you.
Yeah. So events, videos, what a video editor can create from recorded media. So we tackle about this earlier. So, for example, from the event, Pavel is taking some videos and putting it on a Dropbox, and then I'll immediately edit it to post it within the day.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. So this intro and outro, I created the new intro and outro for Virtudesk because in our YouTube before, they're skipping the intro because we're thinking it's too long. So I shortened it up. So that's the strategy that
Easy.
we made. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
And I
because
use a lot of
people-
intro and outro videos too.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
people have very short attention span nowadays.
Yeah.
They do, man.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So yeah, I animate the logo that my team has created. So if you give me some pictures, I can make it move basically. Just keyframing it to, to make it a video.
I like it, man.
Yeah. So yeah, editing software, this After Effects is for compositing. So compositing is, for example, you have a video, you can put a text or another video on that, and you can do everything in here in After Effects. So you can do VFX, you can do motion graphics, you can do cartoons, you can do 3D. So this is a powerful tool. And then after compositing, you can export it to Premiere Pro to make it a video, to to finish it up and make a polished video. Yeah. So in addition is for audio.
Nice.
Yeah. So DaVinci is almost the same as Premiere, just stitching the videos, and Blender's for 3D. Handbrake is for converting a certain video. For example, you have an MP4 or MOV that's coming from an iPhone, and then your client wants a MP4 format. You can convert it into here. And Canva, this is our team's go-to, graphic design tool. You can do a video here as well, but a simple edit. You cannot do complex video editing inside
And
Canva.
another thing, like if you're a real estate agent, let's say you can send your editor like the house, open house clips or client testimonials or sold properties, where you just simply go, in front of a name in the neighborhood and walk around the house that you're about to list. You can just record the video, send it to Dropbox, and your video editor can actually make it really nice, standing out with a nice graphic, and post it on social. So before you get to your office, this thing's going to be on social media already. So just, keep that in mind,
So IG and TikTok. So this is the specification of the video. For TikTok, it's 9:16, and for Reels is 4:5. So cut existing videos like webinars or tutorials, or resize a vertical video. As I've said, this is the specific the format for TikTok and IG. So Facebook, YouTube is different. Also Twitter. So you need to, follow the specifics of the video if you want to post it on socials.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
good. Man.
So YouTube, it's the same. So make sure you're recording video in 4K resolution for more, more quality. So cut existing videos like webinars or tutorials. Get the background music from the content creator. So background music, YouTube is kind of strict on,
the copyrights.
yeah, copyrights. Yeah. So we have a subscription that is, what's that? Motion Array. That's where our background music is coming from.
Okay.
So we don't, so we don't
we're
get
paying
some
for it,
copyright
yep.
music. Yep.
All right. Easy. I like that.
So playlists in Facebook, we are making some playlists for specific videos, YouTube as well, Instagram. So story highlights, TikTok, and podcast. Podcast. I also edit podcasts.
So
So
this is all that you're doing. And I mean, this is all
yeah,
that
all of this. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that, man.
Mhm.
That's beautiful.
Every
Yeah,
day.
and it's better to have an app for music or video clips, so your VA is not violating anything like any copyrights laws, so it's very.
Yep.
I've just been told that we're actually also using motion array,
Yep.
Mhm.
Perfect. I love that.
So yeah, so team collaboration. So every day, every project we're collaborating with my team in the marketing department. So executive virtual assistant is assigning, for example, they're assigning me for a project and giving my deadlines and provide some specific details.
Mm-hmm.
And graphic designer. So from time to time, they're giving me a graphic to put it in the video and some thumbnail to for an additional inserts for a certain video.
Nice.
So before I post the content writer, I'm gonna get it from ClickUp before for example, I post it in YouTube.
Mhm.
So I'll wait for some captions before I post it, titles, everything, every detail of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned ClickUp, which we're going to go into the next session. So perfect.
Yep. So team manager, after editing it, I need their approvals, or so if they want some revisions after exporting the video.
Yep. I love that.
Mhm.
Nice.
So social media manager. So all of this, I can see it on inside ClickUp.
Nice.
So
I
project
mean, the thing is,
management.
we have a system where video editor is just editing the clips, and that's the kind of system we work. And social media VA, they're creating the captions, so not the video editor. So he's focused only on clips.
Yeah.
He's focused on video, right, Joseph?
Yep.
All right.
Because we have
So
a huge marketing team.
yeah, we have a great team.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
You have a great team.
So project management backup. So we have a cloud. So we're using Google Drive. So every project that I make and export it, even the raw, I am putting it on a cloud so we can, repurpose it, or we can re-edit it in the future.
That's good. And you know what?
Yeah.
Joseph, we use Dropbox and sometimes we use Google Drive. So both of them are great for those of you listening in, because you are going to need a project management platform so that you're able to upload video and graphics.
Yep.
And even the raw footage, like Joseph said. So either Google or Dropbox work great for that. Thank you, Joseph. That was good.
So project management platform, project details. So this also comes in my ClickUp. So after editing it, I will upload it on ClickUp, the exported video, and I will need an approval. So in my case, Gab will approve it or do some revisions, and then just finish the project. So yeah, I got carried away. This is the cloud storage that I'm talking about.
That's funny. You made me laugh.
Yeah. So this is the Google Drive that I'm talking about. So export raw files, exported files, and project files. It will be uploaded after editing it on the drive.
You got it, man.
Yeah. So basically, that's my report.
I love it. Well,
Tristan,
then let me end it with something, because I want to show. Pavel, are you still on?
I'm here, bro.
All right, perfect. Because this is where I need your help. I'm going to show my Virtudesk site, and where would Joseph's position be in? Because if I'm hiring, let's say I'm hiring a video editor /
I'd say the marketing and admin would be the
Right
one.
here?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So if I'm looking at an executive virtual assistant, what are they going to be doing specifically?
They're pretty much going to be more of a like Monch for you, who's going to be next, like
got it,
the
got it.
director of ops, you know, who's going to be running things for you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So there you go. We talked about an ISA. That's right
Yeah.
there. We talked about video editor, social media, right there. Right. And we lightly talked
I
about.
even want to show the organizational chart we have right there. So if people missed out on the website, yeah.
Yep, definitely. You can go on here as well. We'll put
Just
it up.
go to home. Yeah, if you can go to home, yeah, if you guys go to our website on homepage, right there, if you scroll down, there's, no, go back. Yeah, right here.
Right.
Virtual staff organization chart. It's been created by us, you know, with your help. So you can click on each you know, position and see what they're doing. So operations manager, that'll be your like executive VA.
Yep.
And you can just click on the blue button right there, and it's going to expand and show you. Yeah,
Like
what
that.
each position may have to be under that.
I like that. All right. Well, this is great, guys. I'll put up the link again. There is a discount for Halloween. It goes through November 1st. So you can hire your very own video editor as good as Joseph, because they train under the same people. That's who trained. So that's the awesome thing. Joseph, you rocked it, bro.
Yeah. Thank you, Tristan.
I love it. Your presentation was great. We're going to give it out to people if they missed it. It goes up. Scroll through the chat. If not, we'll put it at the bottom. And we're going into our last session. This is going to be with our director of operations. They're going to show you ClickUp. They're going to show you the back end of how things get done, where they get assigned, what happens when things are uploaded, who directs the traffic here and there. Pretty good details into it. So jump with me into the other session. Joseph, thanks for being on, buddy.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Pavel.
Kace, Monch, how you guys doing?
All good.
All right. Well, let's get right into this. Can you just give a quick intro as to what you currently do and a little bit of your background so people know, and then we'll get right into the presentation because I know you have one. So Kace, let's go with you first.
Hi, everyone. My name's Kace, and I'm the Director of Operations for Lab Code Agent. I came before becoming a VA for Tristan. I was a training manager in a call center here in the Philippines. And the accounts that I've handled, I was a manager there for Target and for Kohl's.
Nice. I like that. Thank you, Kace. Monch, how about you, buddy?
Hi guys, I'm Monch and I'm the Director of Operations for A Brilliant Tribe. I've been with Tristan since A Brilliant Tribe is still in a Google Doc. That's basic.
That's always funny.
And before being a VA, I used to work for a logistics company based in Hong Kong as a project manager. So
nice, good background. And obviously we've got Pavel. Pavel's the CEO of Virtudesk. He's the guy who created this awesome company. Pavel, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, brother. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks for putting up with Zoom events because everybody loves it so much. We love you. All right,
yeah,
here we go.
Yeah.
Let's go, Kace. Monch, what you got for us?
All right. So hello, guys. So if you were able to attend all the earlier sessions, we're just going to frame and put into perspective our outline for this event. So earlier we talked about like your first 3 hires, your ISA, your tech stack, your video editor, and now it's all about scaling your virtual business. For scaling your virtual business, we've broken it down into 4 major categories. And those are preparation, hiring, training, and then of course, managing your team. So everything that we're going to talk about in preparation are the things that you need to get ready for and prepare for before you even hire your first VA. Okay, so let's start with preparation. So these are the things that you should take time into crafting once you've decided that, okay, I am going to scale. Now, these are important steps or processes that should be in place before you even hire. Now, a lot of employers, I've noticed, these are the things that they tend to overlook, which would be they don't have a set of values or norms for their company. If you think about it, culture is actually vital to any team because what it does is it shapes your brand, your corporate identity, and ultimately your growth. when you define your culture, what it does is it actually sets the acceptable behaviors that influence how your team interacts with each other. And it even goes beyond that. It goes to the level of how business transactions are done and what your brand identity is. A good example that we have would be Nike. Did you guys know that their core values actually include inspiration, innovation, authenticity, and connectedness? Another would be Disney's. They have optimism, innovation, decency, and storytelling. And their values are actually synonymous to their brand. And every time you deal with them, it's the same, right? It's the same across all levels. So for us, for LCA, TNA, and ABT, we use iSpark. And iSpark are values that's innovation, systems, people first, awareness, resilience, and kindness. Now we're going to give you guys a copy in the chat section if you'd like to know more and have a copy of iSpark. Okay. So your norms and company values, these things should be in place before you even start hiring a VA. Okay. Because when you hire a VA, you can use your values as sort of like a checklist to make sure that, okay, is this person like the right fit for my company? Because what you don't want to happen is to get bad seeds in your company that could derail your vision and hinder, your company growth. Apart from the norms and values, what else do we need to prepare for, Monch?
There's a distinguishing factor between businesses that succeed and those that don't. It's the presence of proven business systems that serves the goal, not simply provide busy work. Systems and processes is really important and are essential to your business success, especially when it comes to growth. Definitely, if you don't have systems and processes to lean on in which to train your employees and pass off responsibilities, then growth will be very difficult to achieve. If not, it will be nearly impossible. This is actually the things that I've prepared before even hiring someone for a Brilliant Tribe. I think we've spent a month on this, Tristan, right? Like preparing the back end before hiring
Yeah.
someone. Yep.
Very true. And I love watching this because I'm excited to see the back end of this. This is going to be good.
Yep. So for us, we actually use we prepared communication, our modes of communication. We use iMessage. When we hire people, Tristan requires us to have an Apple. So the sales of Apple increases because of it.
Oh, just to be fair, guys, that's how I communicate. I'm always on the go. So we want to make sure that I stay involved in the communication. I don't use Slack as much, and I want to make sure that I keep the culture going, because if people see me involved and I respond back, right, they feel like I'm part of the whole process. And if it's something that I'm not going to use, then I'm not going to be involved as much. So Monch and I decided early on, we're like, you know what? It's probably best if everyone has an iPhone or an iPad, some way to use iMessaging, because that's how we're going to communicate best.
iPhone or no go. That's the rule.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then for project and team management tools, we used to do things in Trello, but now we're on ClickUp, same as the Virtudesk. For cloud space, we use Dropbox and Google together. And then process documents are with Lucidchart when we do mind mapping, Google Apps, and PowerPoint or Microsoft Office. So if you actually don't set at least a foundation of proven best practices on how things can be done, you're going to spend a lot of time and energy fighting problems left and right, or addressing process gaps, and we don't want that on ABT. So of course, that's not to say that we don't innovate and we've set on our ways. It's actually easier to spot on a process gap that needs to be addressed when processes are clearly outlined as you can see on here. So yeah, aside from that, I think we also need to prepare the roles and responsibilities.
Monch,
So
there was a question on the previous screen. If you could go over really quick, go back. If you could go back really quick, could you list the tool names with the icons so people know what they are?
oh, okay. So for communications, we have iMessage, Skype, and Slack. Slack is pretty popular.
Yep.
For project management, ClickUp is one. Evernote, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that. And then Trello. For cloud space, it's forgot what this one is.
That's a Microsoft one.
Yeah.
OneDrive. Yeah.
And then Google Drive, Dropbox. For process documents and flows, this is Google Apps. This is Lucidchart, and then Microsoft Office.
Perfect. I love it. And will everybody get these slides, or how is this going to work?
Yeah, you can actually send me an email, Monch at Tristan@ahumada.com. I'm happy to send you guys the slide.
Perfect. I'll put that in there. There. All right, continue. Sorry, buddy.
All right. So aside from your system and systems and processes, I think it's also vital to prepare for roles and responsibilities. So when we hire, we actually outline everything, like the things that our VAs will be doing once they are hired. So having an outline roles and responsibilities set the right expectations for you and your employees on their scope of support. So that being said, in creating your roles and responsibilities outline, these three must be factored in. So we have our what, who, and when. So assess and identify the tasks that take up the most of your time. Your time is better spent chasing after your goals, not doing busy work, right? So for our who do you need to fill in the gap? So what position is needed that will fulfill your business needs? And then our whens are you ready? Do you have everything in place to turn over a task effectively before hiring, your VA? Also understand that it takes time to reach the level of competency that you are expecting. Because sometimes, we hire people and then we expect that they will be doing the job, on the day itself. So
True.
Yeah, Monch, what are the advantages of having, an outline for the roles and responsibilities?
well, first it helps attract the right employee, definitely. So when you clearly specify the qualifications and responsibilities for a role, it's less likely that those that aren't qualified will apply, right? So you won't be wasting your time. It saves recruitment time and you get quality application. I think we've actually encountered this with hiring a social media manager. We've posted something online, right, Tristan? And then we got like 200 video recordings of people who wanted to apply.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, so you have to scrub that. It will take your time, really. So aside from that, this will guide you in training them. A thorough outline sets a benchmark on the level of proficiency your VA needs to get on a certain task. It guides not only your VA, but most importantly yourself on the level of training that you must provide. So it sets the right expectations for the both of you on the work that must be done.
That's right. Those are good points, Monch. And now that I think of it, other advantages also of having a clear outline for the roles and responsibilities is it actually aids in employee retention and satisfaction. Now, not a lot of people think that way. However, when you take a step back and look at it from a VA's perspective, a thorough outline of the job description and the responsibilities, that is like a snapshot of how life in your company is going to look like. And if you fail to put forward an outline that is accurate, chances are you or maybe your VA will have unmet expectations. of the scope of support that they need to have. And worse, your VA might feel that your company has been deceitful if it's not accurate at all. If he feels that there are things that are not on the contract, there are things that are not on my roles and responsibilities that I signed up for. Another, and I'm going to link it back to training, one of the advantages that Monch said, it could also be a performance gauge if you think about it. So your roles and responsibilities, it could be an excellent tool to measure performance shortcomings or areas where your VA actually exceeds expectations. And if you use it correctly, it could also point you in the direction when your VA is ready to level up and help you in more areas of the business. And for your VA, that spells promotion. So win-win, right?
That's true.
Yeah. So the last that we have on our list for preparation would be the training plan. I'm sure everybody has heard, like, if you don't train them, don't blame them. Now, training your VA is essential, and some employers have been, let's say, unfairly frustrated with their VA's performance. However, in most cases, it's due to not being able to adequately train their VAs. Is it time consuming? Definitely. It is time consuming. However, if you train them right, it is going to save you a lot of time in the future, a lot of pain, frustration, and even money in the long run. So when you prepare, make sure that you have a training plan in place before you even start to hire. When you have a training plan ready, make sure that it supports the roles and responsibilities outlined that you have. And based off of the tasks that you have created, go ahead and create a glide path. The glide path is what we have listed here as an example, and design your training around it. But later on, we'll talk more about how you can design it for better retention. Okay, so we talked about like the things that we have to prepare for, and just a quick recap, that would be like the values, the norms, right? Your systems and processes should be done. You should have an outline for the roles and responsibilities and a training plan. Okay, so now you're ready to hire. When you have an opening, right, for your company, when there's a position that's open, if you have multiple applicants, it's best to prepare a set of questions that you'll be asking all of them. Aside from giving everybody a fair chance, most importantly, what it does is it actually allows you to see the difference in their thought processes. It'll be easier for you to narrow down your search because you can easily spot who is an awesome communicator, who is able to give clear and direct answers versus someone that you have to pry the answers from by asking a lot of follow-up questions. So to be able to compare, it's very easy for you. And if you think about it, it is also a good gauge on their level of comprehension. Did they get the question right away? Did candidate number one, was he able to answer it appropriately, right? It makes it easier for you to find the best fit. So in hiring, what sort of questions do you have to prepare for? So the things that you have to prepare for in terms of questions would be questions revolving around competency, culture fit, mindset and motivational fit, and infrastructure readiness. Actually, the best person here that checks competency is Tristan, because he hired us.
Well, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, so for competency-based questions, these are best tested by having an expert with you in the panel, because they'd be able to provide valuable insight and be able to ask questions that gauges the skill level of the VA. Earlier, Tristan shared also that you can ask for a video, right? For their social media manager, you can ask for a video, or you can ask for their portfolio. Or during the interview, another creative way would be to have a quick assessment depending on the competency that you are looking for. Let's say, for example, that you're looking into hiring an ISA. So when you're looking into hiring an ISA, what exactly would be the competency that you're looking for? You want to check for their fluency, right? Their pronunciation, their thought organization, but most importantly, are they quick on their feet, right? So you can ask a question or maybe even have an activity that they are not expecting, something that will throw them off course. So a sample question would be like, what did you not like about your previous boss? Something like that. something that will definitely like, oh, what is this, right? Or it could even be a fun activity where you give them a minute or two to talk about like their dream destination, dream job, etc. So since this is something that's truly unexpected in an interview, what you will witness would be their autopilot mode when it comes to their communication skills. So just be creative as well, depending on the competency that you are looking for. Okay. Our second would be culture fit. So for culture fit, it's best to ask situational questions, situational questions that are connected to their previous job, their experience, versus if you are in the situation, what are you going to do? Because if you ask those types of questions, you're going to get socially desirable answers. And you want to really get to know your VA, right? If they fit in your culture. So make sure you ask them questions of the things that they've undergone. Questions like, was there a time when you've experienced having a conflict with a coworker? What happened and what did you do? Right? Or you can tell them, was there a time when you observed that a certain procedure or work process needs improvement? How did you come to this realization and what was the result? Okay, so at this point in time, you need to really listen to their answers. Was he objective? Was he kind? Was he proactive? Did he raise the concern? Did he raise the concern to his colleague? Did he talk to the person that's involved? Did he show that he's a team player, that he was collaborative? And the most important thing is, did he have ownership? That's something that I'm always in the lookout for, right? Was there acknowledgement and awareness that, what, the fault could also be his, and this is what I did. Okay.
That's true. Kace, I want to add two things there.
Yep.
James, disc profile definitely helps. I know that Virtudesk has a process for that too. So they identify personalities. And then the other thing is, we almost had 1,000 of you register, like 937 of you registered for this. So all of you who registered and who are watching, we're going to provide every slide that you see here, along with everything else Virtudesk has to offer. We're going to email that out in the next couple of days. And the recording is also going to be up on the YouTube channel. So watch for that. And then Auberry or someone with Virtudesk here is going to post up that special as well. So Kace, back to you.
Thanks, Tristan. Okay, so our next is actually mindset and motivational fit. Monch, how do you check for this?
Oh, you caught me on off guard there. For mindset and motivations, I think you want to ask questions that check if the applicant is able to envision the role and see how it fits in their lives. You're looking for answers that give you an insight on what they think about the role, their staying power, how this fits in their long-term plans. You want to check if they research about you or your company, because you're looking for someone who is committed and is able to plan and see their future with you, not someone who's just looking for a job right now. Does that make sense? Yeah, so I would ask candidates like questions like, what is your understanding of the role that is presented to you? Another one is looking into the future. What changes and developments do you expect if you get it? Another good one would be, if you're hired, what will you focus on during your first 90 days, and how do you see yourself progressing in this field? So I think those questions will determine, if your candidate has the right mindset and motivation to do the job. And in hiring, always have your norms and values ready to check if the person is a good fit for your company. It's easier to train for technical skills, right? Competency gets developed through time, but a bad fit in your culture affects the entire team and yourself like wildfire. And then lastly, I think you also have to talk about or to ask about infrastructure readiness, since we're hiring, virtual assistants, and all transactions are done online. I think Virtudesk actually are doing this when interviewing candidates. Like, they ask questions: what type of computer do they have? Do they need to upgrade to be able to do the job efficiently? And are they willing to? What is their connection speed or the internet? Here in the Philippines, sometimes there are locations that has spotty connections. So do they have backup internet provider when that happens? And then also for power outages, right? So if they have like generators or another location that they can work, during the outage. So your operations will not be at standstill. So those are definitely a must question to ask when hiring a virtual assistant. Right, Kace?
Awesome. Yes, that's right. Okay, so all right, so let's say that you're done with the preparation, you've hired someone already. Now, what's the next step? Of course, you're going to train them, right? Okay, so earlier we talked about having like a glide path ready based off the roles and responsibilities checklist that you have, like what exactly are they going to do on their first 30, 60, and 90 days. And that definitely depends on the complexity of the task. But to ensure that your VA gets the most out of training, plan and design your training activities using the VARK model. So what is VARK? So this is pretty basic, but remember before we were taught that there are 4 types of learners. There's the visual, auditory, reading, writing, and kinesthetic. Now, everyone has a predominant learning style, but studies show that for the best retention, you don't stick to one, right? All of us learn best when it's a combination of all 4. Keeping that in mind, know that training videos are good. But if that's the only training that you have, then it's time to upgrade and maybe add supplemental materials and activities. If you already have a video, you can also document every procedure that they can easily refer to. You can also have maybe your head ISA or maybe yourself to have a session with them where you can model and where you can do model and repeat. You can show them how it's supposed to be done and then have them do it after. And that would cater to your kinesthetic learners. And the most important thing is always provide consistent feedback, because without feedback, there's not going to be any improvement. People operate the best way they know how. So unless somebody tells them otherwise, then that's how it's going to be. A good practice that I have also is that at the end of each training day, I have them take note of their learnings and wins. And then I go through it with them the start of the following day. Now, it may look like, just regular note taking, but what it actually does is it develops a habit of learning and the mindset of looking at progress. Because when you're starting out, it's easy to get overwhelmed with all the information that you need to absorb. Everything that you need to know. And we do know that nobody ever starts great and that your VAs are going to commit mistakes on the first, when they first start with you, right? So giving feedback is essential. However, if you are on the receiving end of the feedback, and most of it is about, the things that you missed, it's very easy to get defeated, to have that mindset. And when that happens, you kind of take a step back from your learning. Now, doing this little exercise of having them take note of their wins, their successes, and what they learned for the day, it enables self-directed learning, and it allows them to take control and to look forward to incremental progress and development. And as you go through training, it's a good practice to periodically go back to your roles and responsibilities as well. Earlier, we talked about how you can use it as a performance gauge. You can even make it an activity where you can ask your VA to rate his comfort level on certain tasks there. That's going to give you a good gauge as well of how much hand-holding, supervision, or training that you still need to provide until that person reaches the competency that you're looking for.
That's a lot. That's a lot to prepare. But mind you, if you have all of these checked, you won't go wrong on your first hire, or maybe on your next hire. So what we've talked about is preparation, hiring, training, and now we're down to managing a team. So managing a team in face-to-face setup is completely different from how you manage a remote team. In preparation, the first step that you have to establish are proven systems and remote systems and processes. Why? Because when you have your team with you, you want to be able to focus your valuable time and energy on what you deem as important, be it more time with family, going after what's next in your business, chasing after your goals, and so on. So versus spending time, going after what's, ensuring everyone in your team is doing what they're supposed to do or fixing problems left and right caused by inaccurate work and process gaps that may cost you money that your team creates. So there are so many tools and systems, project management softwares that you can use and set up. There's Trello, Asana, as you can see on the previous slide. But today we're going to share with you what we personally use in LCA, Brilliant Tribe, and Tristan and Associates. The project management software that we use to manage our team day to day is ClickUp. So why did we choose ClickUp? Because it allows you to have visibility to your team's overall performance through its dashboard. Also, one second. Also,
Monch, while you're doing that, you give me a little bit of a sneak in there. I want to ask you or Kace, probably Kace, so you can do this and work on this. Kace, question from James, because it applies to all virtual assistants. He says, would it be presumptuous to assume that we would be paying a VA to learn during their time off to level up during the probation period? For example, 30, 60, 90 days.
I can probably answer that for you.
Oh, perfect. Pavel, bring it up.
Well, no, you won't be. And the reason is we even have SME sessions, subject matter expert sessions, where Virtudesk pays them, but you as the customer is not charged for that, for their time that they learn. So if you're hiring somebody from Virtudesk, Virtudesk will be taking care of that and scheduling. That's why you hire us as a company, because we're paying the SME experts, for the sessions that they do. Also, VAs are encouraged to learn from our online academy that we have, Virtudesk Academy, to learn on their own anything that's updated. So we constantly updating that with content. So no, you wouldn't be expected to pay for that. You actually be only paying for the time that they're working. And the reason because they log into our Timely software. It's called Timely, our time tracker. So you would only be paying from the time they logged in to the time they actually logged out. It's like the pilots. They only, get paid when the airplane door closes and opens. That's it. Same goes here.
He's a good answer, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Amazing.
All right.
Yeah, so there we go. The reason why we chose ClickUp is because of its dashboard, where you can see everything that's going on with your team. So it gives you access to a bird's eye view of what's happening with your projects. Is your team awake, since it's nighttime in the Philippines? Automation, you can actually utilize automation. I believe a lot of the real estate agents are heavy on doing this in their CRM. So it also is available in ClickUp as a project management tool. So also integration. So you can actually connect your Google Drive, Dropbox, and everything that things that you use from other companies into ClickUp. So let's start with dashboard. Let me show you what it looks like. So on here, what I'm what I'm doing with a Brilliant Tribe is I keep track of who's behind so we can help them. So especially that I manage like a lot of video editors for Tristan. As you can see, Tristan's omnipresence is it. I mean, he's everywhere. He's on TikTok, Pinterest, and every other social media platform. So the content that he's putting in, it's from our video editors and graphic designers. So our social media manager and strategist. So I want to make sure that, you know, my team isn't overwhelmed. So I keep track of who's behind. So, you know, people can jump in and help him out. Also, for project management, where are we at? This actually shows you, you know, where your project is, what's going on with it. Is it overdue? Are we on time to deliver? So things like that. For workload, this is like an overview of what is assigned for the week in each of your team members. So I want to make sure that they are not bombarded by tasks and who's active. So this is where I see people, if people are awake and active during work hours, especially that we don't use time tracker, simply because I believe that, you know, they're adults, right? So you can definitely trust them on doing their job, and our team is doing awesome. Do you agree, Tristan?
I couldn't do anything without you guys. I can't. That part of the growth that I have for my real estate team, Tristan and Associates, and Lab Code Agents and the Brilliant Tribe, part of all of that growth comes from being able to hire the right people. And more than half of our staff are VAs. And you guys are absolutely, I mean, look, you put this together and I didn't even know. I was actually reading and I was going back. I was like, this is awesome. I love this.
That's good. That's good. Next one is automation. So this is how it looks like on ClickUp. So it's your when and then. So if this happens, what's going to happen next? So I rely on this very much because I don't want our admins to spend their time on, you know, things like tell our leadership team that all assets are ready for quality check, right? So this is done by a click bot. So I'm using this heavily and still learning a lot of things, like integrating Google Sheet to it. When you put a task on Google Sheet, it goes right into ClickUp automatically and assign it to a person. So things like that can happen on ClickUp instead of your admin putting things on ClickUp, putting it on Google Sheet, and that's not efficient, right? So your billable hours, or you're paying them, and you know, for something that they're doing to you know, for the company, right?
Well,
So,
I mean, Monch, this allows us to be able to hire an executive admin like you or Kace. And then as we grow, now we're able to say, okay, social media manager, okay, video editor, okay, ISAs, right? This is how they all determine what they need to do. And you as the ops person allows us to be able to fully function on the prospecting side or whatever we're great at, and you continue to hold everything on the back end together. Very similar to what Chris VanderValk was saying with Kyle Whissel's team, right? They're putting in VAs to be able to handle more volume. So very, very cool.
And guys, I see there's a question from Anita Goretsky that's been addressed to me, so I would love to actually answer that. She feels that we are growing too rapidly, and for some reason she thinks it may actually affect the training. No, we actually, whenever we grow, we are actually scaling, which means the training has not changed. We're just adding the trainers. So the bandwidth is there to support the training department, to support the onboarding department, and extended HR. So Anita, you do not have to worry about the quality of the training because it's actually stays the same, because this we do have the bandwidth and we do have the systems put in place specifically for that. So we're not overwhelmed. No, we're not. And this is just what I would like to, to tell you.
Good one, buddy. Also, Anita, that's a really good concern, actually. And one of the things that we do on our end, because I do work with Pavel's team closely on the VA side too, is we meet almost once a week with their leadership team for VAs. So we talk to the VAs and the marketing department. And what we do is we do our best to make sure that they're also aware of what's next, what's working at a high level. And together we do our best to implement this so that you, like the customer, are also seeing those results so they know what's next. Because that's important too, Pavel. So that's one thing that we do really well together. Great.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah.
Thanks, Anita. All right, back to you, Monch.
Awesome. So this is actually the last one. So integration. So as you can see on your screen, there's a lot of things that you can integrate with ClickUp. And but me personally, I actually put everything on ClickUp, including our team wiki. So this is like a bunch of documents that I stored within just one tool instead of going back and forth. So our SOPs are in here, our culture, attendance policies, about Tristan, and everything about the companies is on here. So when we train new hires, I actually just send them here and go through it, and they know what to do next. That's basically it. So yeah.
I love it, dude. I love all those things that ClickUp can do. So thank you.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of features and benefits on how, this project management software can work for you. But due to the limited time that we have, we've actually put together everything that we've talked about in a PDF, along with some links for tutorials on how you can set up your own ClickUp. So in a nutshell, in the grand scheme of things, to be able to scale your virtual team in confidence and with adequate support for all your team members, you have to go through the 4 different phases, which would be preparation, hiring, training, and then of course, managing your team.
All right. I like that. There's a question for Pavel before we end this out. James has a question for you, Pavel. Would messages, where to go? Great question, James. Would messages and feedback conversations be regarded as on-shift time for wages? Example would be that I, who's a real estate, he's doing a lot of transactions. But he has a lot of last minute details that he needs. And sometimes he needs adjustments to leads and a lot of quick messages. Is that all part of one VA during one time that they're working? Or tell me how it works. Okay.
Yeah. Well, basically you pick the shift for during which time your VA is going to be on shift, on the clock, so to say. So whatever, like 9 to 5 of your time, or noon to 8. So you pick the shift, and at that time your VA is going to be on, like your in-house assistant in the office.
Yep.
So if you have anything after that, obviously your VA will get to it when the person goes into the shift. So
yeah,
that's how it works.
Just remember on that, James, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if you were on when we were interviewing Jeff Pfitzer, but he said, hey, remember, it takes a month to 2 months to be able to kind of get to know each other. So don't expect somebody who jumps in a week or 2 to be able to understand the work that you're doing and how they're working. So it takes time. I mean, Kace and I think it took 2 months, Kace, for us to kind of figure out, and then you started jumping on ClickUp, and then so I gave you time and you gave me time as well. So Monch, same way. Actually, I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I hired Monch. Monch is like, this is what you need to do. So I was like, oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. So look, now that we're at the end here, remember, this is all recorded. You're going to get all the slides. And if you need to hire somebody, there's a $350 off today, and it goes up until, let me see here. I'm going to share this. Yeah, November 1st. Here it is. It's a Halloween special promo. Just go here. It's the link. Click on what you need or you think you need. You get more information. Then somebody at Virtudesk will reach out to you, and then we'll go from there. If you want more pricing, just click on the pricing. It gives you the breakdown right over here. I love the new website, Pavel.
Thank you, brother.
So,
It took us a while to actually build it, and it's not WordPress. We didn't use WordPress. We didn't use GoDaddy. It's actually hosted on Amazon, and it's built on Python, I think. So
I love it.
HP.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, guys. All right. Well, look, you know where to go. And Kace, Monch, thank you for ending this on a high note. And you know how to get a hold of Pavel and myself. We're inside of the leverage community, which is run by Virtudesk, right? We're there daily. And Pavel, any way to get a hold of you directly? Is it through Instagram, through Facebook?
Instagram, Facebook. Facebook is the best. Send me, a DM on Facebook, and let's take it from there.
All right, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. And you'll all be getting this by email, all 900 plus of you.
100%.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have an awesome day.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.